It's Thursday, I'm pretty sure. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the live stream. Not a very fancy show. I do have a nice setup, but I'm going to go live here in just a second with my friend Cliff, Mr. MRxChiCity, a shy city. And yeah, if you're hanging out watching already, then welcome to the show. Let me get this all set up and going for him. All right, I think we're there. Boom. I'm in there. All right, bam, we're live. So yeah, you guys can just hang, jump in, join the chat if you like, and happy to answer any questions if I can answer them. You got jiu-jitsu questions? You want to watch some of your old jiu-jitsu matches? Have us break it down, work on it together. This is a good chance for us just to sit and improve with our jiu-jitsu, or if you got business questions, or really you just want to hang and chat with me and Cliff when he jumps in. And I think my friend Logan Summit is going to join me today too. But what up, Anthony? I've been in Las Vegas, dude. I've been in Las Vegas. Hey, how's the audio? Is it feeding back on you guys? I'm getting an echo. You good? Let me know. Let me know, Anthony. I'm getting a little echo back on my end, so it sounds kind of funky, But if it's not doing that for you guys, then no stress, because I'll be fine. Okay, word. But yeah, I've been in Las Vegas. We had PGF league owner meetings, so I got what up, Spunky James Cole in the building. What's up, buddy? Yeah, dude, I got crazy homework. This is all my homework that needs to get done for PGF. And then, yeah, there we go. So yeah, flew out. Me and Keelan flew out late on Monday night, and then we landed in Vegas at like midnight, probably on Monday night. We got up early, and it was just me and Keelan and Heather and Zoe, and we were like, no phones, no computers, just head down, think, work, and we did that from. As soon as we got up on Tuesday morning until probably 7 p.m. We didn't even break for lunch. We just, bam, plowed straight through it. So, yeah. Oh, looking at some blueprints, Anthony. All right. Let me just check this out here. Okay, yeah, I think we're good to go. I feel like I need music going on this. If I put the music on here, But I think we're on YouTube, so no. Dang, did I just see, what did I just see come through here? Thought it was a kick or something like that. Brandon Redbeard, how's it hanging? Hey, hanging pretty good, dude. Best of Brandon Mccaghren is now subscribed. Did you guys see that? That was fascinating. I guess those are coming in off of the YouTube. Let's see. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. The man is here. Oh, hey, I think we're muted on your side.
Oh, yeah, I was muted. Good morning. Good morning. How you feeling, brother?
What's up, dude? I just sat down. I just sat down and turned it on.
Are you live over on your channel right now?
Yeah, it's live
You
right
are?
now.
Okay. All right. So just quickly, give me a minute. I'm gonna get another cup of coffee. I'm gonna go take a leak, and then I'll start my little thing that I got. You can just throw me backstage, and then I'll just be
Okay,
right back.
word. Yeah, well, take your time. It's no
All
rush,
right.
man.
Yes, sir. I'll be right back.
So up in the top corner of my screen, it's popping up new subscribes and stuff. I think those are to the YouTube channel because we are live on YouTube right now, but only on the vertical. Yeah, you guys see them pop up. Those are definitely live stream subscribers on YouTube. But yeah, you got to be careful, man. You can't play music on YouTube. You know, if we're live on Kick, doesn't really make a big difference. But live on YouTube is there's is a lot more stringent over there. What you can, what you can't do. James, you getting all healed up, dude? Feeling better? Also, James, I think you DM'd me that you were making a cartoon, like you're making a new animation or something. Like you sent me a clip of it, I think, but it wasn't very long, so I couldn't tell really what was going on. So yeah, what's training been like for you guys this week? Oh yeah, so James, you are working on an animation. That's cool, dude. It's you and your brother, right? That's who does them with you. The full video is coming out on Sunday. Okay. A full so what is it? What is it that you guys are doing? I mean, it's like a cartoon, but what's it about? Like give me the Spunky James breakdown. And Parker, you said you're looking at blueprints. What is it that you actually do? Like what is your job? Oh yeah, Parker. So y'all did single legs. What did you did single leg offense or defense? And is your ankle feeling better? I know it was jacked up for a while. Boom, boom, mm. Man, that's pretty wild. When I log into to YouTube, I need to fix that real quick. 1 second, fellas. There we go. Oh shoot. Okay, I think we're ready to go here. MRxChiCity, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Let's go, man. Thank you
What's
so
up,
much
baby?
for having me on again. Let me just
Yeah,
quickly
man.
add my thing here and boom. We should be good to go. Let me just pop my chat out. How's it going? How's your Friday Junior going?
Oh man, pretty good. I didn't land until like I don't know midnight. I was probably home by 1 a.m. last night, and
So
then
what'd you have going on in Vegas, if you don't mind me asking?
so we flew out. Me and Keelan flew out on Monday night. We landed about midnight in Vegas. Then we popped up Tuesday morning. We got up early, and it was me and him and Zoe and Heather. So like the four owners of the PGF, and it was basically just like you know corporate meeting, so to speak. So just making
Just handle some
decisions.
big boy business.
Yeah, so we crammed a week's worth of work into like one day with just the four of us. No phones, no computers. We just worked on pen and paper at a table for I don't know, probably 14 hours
Only
on
pen and paper.
pen and paper. Yeah.
Sometimes that's where the best ideas come out, man.
Yeah, well that's how the PGF started.
Yeah, you
That's
might
how
as
the
well stick with the
PGF started.
roots.
Well, every now and then, right? Like I'm super big. I know like AI it makes people feel super polarized. What up, Ace? What up, Big Owl? Uh,
Hey, how we doing?
I know that like it's super AI is super polarizing to people, but I'm a super advocate of like utilizing AI to optimize and make more efficient what it is you're
Yes.
already doing.
Yes.
I sort of get the argument about not using it to generate art or whatever, but even that, I'm still like, you know,
Man, AI has changed the game for me on so many different levels. Like anything else, we're going to be hesitant in the beginning, but you're totally right when it comes to like your workflow. Because for me personally, what I've discovered is that there's a couple of different things that I've say. I'm kind of like working on what my saying is, but automation and delegation have been things that have really helped me utilize AI. And really, for me, AI has become somewhat of a consultant where, like, I don't like to surround myself with yes men. And the way that I've trained my strategists is what I call them. They keep it real with me. I like to go to my AI. I'm like, I'm pissed off about this. Why is this happening? And they're like, first of all, calm down. If I can give you some pushback here, you're wrong about that situation. And then I'm like, oh, well, shit. They're not biased. Maybe they're right. Maybe I am wrong. So sometimes it helps to use a strategist in the form of AI in that regard. But for me, like when you bring up art, I think what has helped me like elevate my streaming game is the thumbnails. And all
yeah.
of that for me is AI generated. Now I don't have to pay an editor. Sucks if your whole niche was graphic design, but
Well, it's not
that's
just
like
graphic design,
Blockbuster.
it's everything. It's
No,
everything.
you're right. From movies and videos and just everything. There's so many things that
Yeah,
AI has taken
and
over.
people get that are super polarized. It feels like there's not. Well, I guess it's just online and things like that. But I guess in real life, people are pretty nuanced about it. But you see, like the online camp, you're either like all in on AI or you're all out. And
For sure.
yeah,
For sure.
I don't know. I don't think it's. I'm closer to all in for sure. But I think there's positive and negative ways to use it and things to use it for, and definitely cons to taking it on. But
You
uh,
so you've seen one thing I'll add to that. Have you've seen like my clips that I've been posting from last week's podcast?
yeah,
Completely AI generated.
yeah, of course.
Complete like literally click the button. Like this has changed my entire workflow. You're over there in the text message gassing me up. You're the man, and I love your consistency, brother. I spend 2 seconds doing that. And shout out to Ace for showing me Streamladder. Have you seen Streamladder?
Mm-mm.
Let me show you this really quick.
Yeah, you should be able to share your
Share
screen if you want.
screen. Window. Where is it? General. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. So I'm going to share this. Let me know if that popped up. Oh, you have to bring it on stage. Okay.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
So Streamladder has been, I can't wait to use it a little bit more, because basically what it does, you upload the video. So into Clip GPT is what they call it. Here's last week's talk, right? So when I click on this, gives me 30 clips, right? And it ranks them based on how viral they think it would go, gives you the description and the hashtag. So you've seen the one that I posted first, the most brutal street beefs moment when the guy got kicked in the crown jewels.
Yeah.
Then the first lesson with Nick Diaz, which is an insane story that Tim told, and he didn't even get through like a quarter of the story. So it gets people to go click on the podcast video. I skipped this one because all we were literally doing was just talking about how Jordan is the GOAT. Like, there's no arguing that, right? Especially LeBron's in Cancun now. My height reveal. This one actually did really well for me because people thought it was funny that I was on the podcast in my underwear. My lady was like, "You're gonna wear pants today, right?" And I was like, "Maybe. I don't know."
You know what? I see what happens.
But I do have shorts on this time for those who are wondering.
Hey, and just in case you're wondering, I always got shorts on, but continue.
There you go. There you go. We got rid of that troll. The McDojo story hit. What was the guy's name from last week from Taiwan?
Oh, Ivan.
Ivan, yes. He told the story about his former coach being in jail. We're not going to say what he did, but I didn't want to post that because that was a little rough.
Word.
And then this one was actually really good, but I have to edit it because it's just me listening to you talk about Zoltan's advice. That's probably the next one that I'll do today before I transition to today's podcast clips. Breakaway pants to a fight. The Coke Zero layaway plan was a really funny one too. Caught in a fake meeting. And then this is the one that I posted, the ultimate goal of jiu-jitsu, where we talked about after 10 years, the vigilante, man. So basically the point is, so many clips to choose from. It's insane. And this just changed my entire, how do I turn this off now? Do I do this? Click here and then stop.
I think I can just.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, I think I can just stop it if you can't.
So essentially, since we're talking about AI, man, I think what has really held me back, somebody tweeted a couple of weeks ago, a big creator with Kick, and they're like, what's the number one workflow problem that's holding you back from really taking over? And for me, it's editing the clips and getting them posted. And
so there's a lot of services that do that. I used to, when we were doing a lot of podcast stuff, I had this service called Opus Clip, and this was kind of before the AI was good. This was several years ago that I was using.
Yeah. I was actually checking out Opus Clip, but they wanted me to pay for it. And I'm using Ace's account. He pays for this. So this is just really helpful to have
the homie account.
Yeah, exactly. But I have no problem getting it myself because it's $130 a year or something like that, which is a little more than $10 a month. That's worth it for the amount of time that this has already saved me. Because what I was trying to do was download the VOD from Kick and then find, I watched the entire VOD back the second we got off the podcast last week, and I time stamped it. So what I was doing was, that's good for viewer retention on YouTube.
Yeah.
So what I was doing was I was looking at my list of timestamps. Then I would go over, find that section in CapCut of the VOD, and then cut that, and then have to put it in vertical, overlay it, put the captions on, get the description, the hashtag, and then upload it everywhere. Dude, that takes so much more time, especially I do long streams. You see me on 8, 9, 10-hour streams. I don't feel like doing that when I get off my stream. But if you don't do that, you're not going to grow. You nerf yourself in terms of reach and discoverability. So to reel it all in, you're totally right about AI. I think there are limits, and I do think that we need to regulate it and have these regulations heavily enforced. But AI has done nothing but help. AI helps me and my lady budget for our groceries. AI helped her get approved for her very first credit card, which was an American Express. She had never had credit cards before dealing with me. And I was like, well, let's just talk to chat really quick and see what they think. Chat gave us the strategy. Now she's got 4 credit cards. Now I have to convince her using AI to not use the credit cards. You know what I mean? So Scoob, good morning. Donut, good morning. Sam, good morning. Dre, King, Gina. 7-day trial, but I'm starting paying full months next month. Yeah, I'm just going to get my own, but I appreciate you helping us get that started. And if you don't mind sharing us out to your Instagram as well, I'm going to go ahead and create a story to let people know that we are live doing podcast episode 2. 30 minutes ago, Big Dog's on my Instagram. Where was this at?
I think that was at the Grand Canyon. That
Nice.
wasn't this weekend though.
I've never been to the Grand Canyon. That's fire
I just
though.
keep keeping stuff in my
In the pocket, up the sleeve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I just
Oh,
go
yeah.
back and throw stuff up. That's my wife though. That's me and my wife.
Beautiful.
Hey, I wanted to read this comment here. This is actually off of the YouTube. So we're on my YouTube channel right now.
Okay, perfect.
But
Awesome.
just the vertical.
Do you want me to? That's good because then that's not going to mess up your multi-streaming.
Yeah.
Do you want me to introduce myself to these people
Yeah,
first?
do your thing.
Okay.
Do your thing.
So really quick, for those of you who don't know, my name is Cliff, but I go by Mr. MRxChiCity, Shy for short. Started streaming on Facebook back in 2021. Came to Kick in 2023. In August of 2024, we got selected for Kick Picks Week 39, where Kick staff came to our stream, gifted us 100 subs. Unfortunately, I had to take 2025 off due to mental health and family issues. But we came back in January of this year and we just started our grind back over. Luckily, my community welcomed me back with open arms. And long story short, we just got verified. We got our little green check mark. We got that like 3 weeks ago. And this Saturday makes 3 weeks that we've been actually. So 4 weeks ago, we got verified. 3 weeks ago, Saturday, we got partnered. So it's just a blessing. You see all my Kick stuff that I have set up. I'm fully bought in on Kick. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you have no idea how much help it would be if you could just download the Kick app, make a Kick account. I know everyone's like, oh, I already have YouTube, I already have TikTok and Twitch and things like that. But Kick is where it's at. If you truly support the fighters and what Brandon is doing with his team in PGF World, you will make a Kick account, because just being in the stream, even just lurking, you don't necessarily have to make an account, but being on Kick and getting that viewership up on Kick is going to be more money that's going to be coming in for PGF World, which obviously is going to get turned right over to the fighters. So Kick is still relatively new, and I understand maybe you won't agree with all of Kick's politics in terms of what they allow in free speech and maybe DMCA rules and things like that. But if you're watching on YouTube right now, and if you do anything at all, please come to Kick and make a Kick account. That's a free way to support the stream, and it helps way more than you may think. Rant over.
Bam.
Rant over. Let me go ahead and get this posted on Instagram. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, do your thing. So while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up this comment here and read it. So this is Jelly92 over on YouTube. He said, ultimately, the structure of capitalism is what makes AI improper or unethical. And then he says, he's talking about, he says, this dude is talking about using AI to outsource a skilled job while not realizing AI is going to take his job. And I hear that, but I don't think that's a very nuanced opinion, because you had to use AI to write that.
Well, that, and I think he probably, or she, I don't know, probably heard someone else say that and then just ran with it.
I mean, maybe that might be, they sat down and thought all the way through. We'll have to dig in with them a little bit, but
that's a good topic to talk about. I mean, I guess really quick, what I would say, that as a graphic designer or an artist or anything creative, I can totally see why you would be threatened by artificial intelligence. I just don't agree with that last part where you who's tuning into an AI stream? I don't know. That's where the difference is when it comes to creativity, because I think creativity is going to be now at a premium. I think creativity is going to be that thing. Okay, I'm not hating on VTubers. I'm not hating on AI streamers or whatever else is out there that I may not be privy to. I'm not hating on anything at all. I just think that it would be very hard. You'd be very hard pressed to find an AI that can do what we do. Do you think AI is going to replace PGF World? No.
No, I think, for whatever reason, I got into like one of the things that I think it's that I think it's gonna replace. He says, "No, I didn't use AI to write that." No, no, I didn't mean that you used AI to come up with what you were gonna type. I meant that the platform that you're using to write that comment was built with AI and uses AI in the background, and the phone or the computer that you're on was built using AI. So I'm saying that there's a lot more nuance to it than just
For sure.
it's going to replace my job. Like also, all jobs get replaced with new technology. Like it used to be a job to be a scribe. Your job was to
I
take
used to
the.
have that job.
I mean,
Transcriptionist is what it was. We
I'm
used to
talking,
listen.
but look, go way back, dude.
Oh, dude, even further
A
back.
scribe, his job, he worked for the church,
Yep.
and the priest,
Before the internet.
he would, they would write down what the priest said, or they would transcribe from the actual text over and make a copy of it to disseminate out amongst the people or amongst the other clergy or whatever. And that's the way things were done. But
Absolutely.
that job doesn't exist anymore because the printing press came along.
Right.
And
It's
the
like,
printing press doesn't exist. It's
yeah, we're going to evolve. We're going to get better.
yeah.
And it's funny because now I bet you the guy who owned the transcriptionist office that I worked in when I was in college, I hope he pivoted. I hope he like figured it out because there's no like we used to have it used to be a long like it was a service. And so doctors or even like anyone who just wanted to use it would call and leave a voicemail and then type out. We would listen to it and type out. And the faster you type, the more money you made as a transcriptionist. So like I type, that's why probably why I'm a fast typer now. I've always been into computers, but back then I used to type maybe like 80 words per minute, but there were people typing like 160 and they were making double what I was making in the same amount of time. Needless to say, I didn't last there very long because I started like they wanted you to transcribe exactly what the person was saying. And sometimes I would summarize to save time and type faster. And that didn't last long. But I'd be curious to know like where that guy is at now.
Well,
Okay, so he says, yeah, what's his next comment here?
so he says it's an exaggeration to say AI will replace all entertainment. All I mean is protections for citizens is important because under capitalism, you can use AI to disenfranchise at an alarming rate,
I
and
agree with that.
that is where I would say that I land. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you jump in on the YouTube comments, or any kind of social media comments, people's first reaction is often not their actual stance. It's
For
just
sure.
it's easy to things are just polarized so badly on social media. It's either like
Oh,
you're with
100%.
this or you're against it.
A
And so
hundred percent.
and because we're shooting comments to try to get engaged in the conversation and get attention to what we're trying to say, it's we all instinctively know that the easiest way is to bam, you got to hit your point hard and then
Absolutely.
maybe dig into it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what I was asking at the beginning, Parker, about the reverb on the mic. Let me see. Give me
Okay,
one
while you do that, let me
second.
just share this on the story really
I
quick.
think I can fix that.
Give me 1 second here, chat. I'm gonna mute my mic. Give me 1 second. How do I do that?
Let me get this fixed for you guys.
Here we go. Let's see. Sam with the big 3 years of followage on Kick. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. 3 years plus the 2. Carl with the 38 months plus the 2 years. Our 5 year, for you guys that don't know. Wait, hold on. Before I get into that, let me read that comment. I'm a software architect engineer with nearly 25 years of experience. I use AI at work now as a forced multiplier, producing even more code with increased quality. And it's taken over all of the mundane boilerplate type of work for me. Yes. And that's exactly what Brandon and I were just talking about in terms of like my productivity has gone sky high and I can do what I actually love, which is playing the game and hanging out with my community. Like that's what I truly enjoy doing. I don't enjoy the part that is forced to come with it if you want to grow as a streamer or content creator, which is downloading the VOD, time stamping it, spending the time generating the captions, clipping it, switching the overlay from landscape to vertical, since everyone is all holding their phone like this now. No more landscape unless you're actually watching a longer video. Like everything is short form and clips now, and you either get right or you get left. Like at the end of the day, we are adopting this technology. And I was just having this conversation with my friend the other day. When it comes to AI, right? Because he DM'd me. He was like, look at this thumbnail that I just made. I was like, brother, you are like 3 years late. Where have you been? We've been making thumbnails ever since ChatGPT dropped. And I don't even use ChatGPT for thumbnails anymore, right? So he was like, man, I'm just a little bit late. But at the end of the day, I told him there's 3 different types of people right now. There's people who do not use AI. They have something against it, right? That's one type of person. There's a second type of person where there's someone who is like starting to come around to the idea of AI, but they don't know how to use prompts to generate what they want, right? And then there's a third type of person like me and like a whole bunch of other people that are getting paid because of AI. That has our entire workflow has productivity levels have increased drastically because of what artificial intelligence has given. It's taken the shackles off with this Streamladder stuff that I just showed you guys.
Yeah.
I don't have to spend 16 hours a day creating content. You know what I mean? I can literally upload the VOD, click a button, done. I'll pay $1,000 for that to have my time. Don't tell them I said that because they're gonna raise the price. but that's my point. Like I agree with you. To the guy that made the comment before, I think his name was Brandon as well, in terms of how AI has increased productivity tenfold because it has, it's not just shitty quality. AI has already advanced the last like few years that it's been out publicly like this. Now the mundane boilerplate work is not an issue because it's done like that. So I just think it's going to enhance everything. And I understand the opinions that some people may have, but I do think that those who are fully against AI, they may not like understand the power of it, and they just need to do more research at the end of the day.
Well, I think that, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you. Yep,
Okay,
you sound good.
I think that the way that it should be thought of, in my opinion, is that it's an equalizer. It levels the playing field
Oh,
for small
100%.
businesses and small creators. So I actually think that it's good. Like it's a good thing that people have access to it. It's
For sure.
not
Anytime.
just. I think a lot of people, because it's coming down from corporations, they see Chat GPT and they see Google Gemini and Anthropic and all of like these like legitimately huge. Like Anthropic is, I think, past $1 trillion valuation.
Dude, it's insane what
That,
OpenAI is
that's
doing.
crazy. That's crazy, and that's Anthropic. Not to
Mm-hmm.
mention what OpenAI and Google DeepMind, what they're doing. But no matter where all of this AI stuff lands, even if it never progressed any further and all the corporations died that were doing AI, like even if they went to zero, every one of them, and the AI industry no longer existed and it happened tomorrow, it's as far as we got. What's happening with open source is still there. And those open source models are today insanely high level.
Absolutely.
And so it's I don't know. I feel like we can sit and talk about the way that we wish things were, or we can adjust to the reality of the way things are. And is this something that is in my control? No. Then I better adjust and react and ride the wave to do my best to make my biggest possible impact on the planet.
I agree. And
So I utilize it tremendous. Like we have a very small team, right? Like I have the business. So I have essentially, I guess, 3 different businesses with little subsets of all of them. So there's my gym, right? 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Decatur, Alabama. If you want to actually get in here, train and roll and learn the art of jiu-jitsu,
heck yeah.
have I got a treat for you. Best gym in the southeastern United States. I don't think it's even close. Bit of a step out, perhaps, but I feel pretty confident with that. All right. The second business is my personal brand. So really, I make the majority of my living from my personal brand, my social media, live streaming, those being very small parts of it, but my website, which is bjj365.club, and that's the online training basically.
Oh shit.
And then there's PGF, which is the third business that I have with Keelan and Zoe and Heather. And all of those have a very small team, very small. Talking about the gym and my personal brand, these are mom and pop businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like we're
Hey,
brick
but
and mortar,
quality.
old school. Brick and
Quality
mortar,
over
old school.
quantity, though. These are all people that you trust and have been there with you from the beginning.
Yes, and they're people that when I give them AI and we learn how to use it, it's like wearing the Iron Man suit. You go from Tony Stark, who was
Absolutely.
awesome,
Dude.
to Iron Man. Still Tony Stark on the inside, but I could do a lot more with that Iron Man suit on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how I feel that AI is to be utilized in a good way. You know what I mean?
I'm with you on
You
that.
don't want to replace it. You don't want to let it do your thinking for it. Or this is me at least. Some people probably could use it, but I feel like I'm a good thinker, so I don't want it to replace my thinking.
Right.
But
And your thought process.
I don't want it to replace creativity, but I want to use it to supercharge my thinking and supercharge my creativity and outsource the things that I can't do or don't do well. Systems, organizations, math, work on the computer. I'm not going to pay a graphic designer for a YouTube thumbnail. I'll just make a crappy one. And so
100%.
it's not replacing somebody's job to make a thumbnail for me. I was going to do it. It's replacing my lost hours.
That's right.
And so,
well said.
So it's not like nobody's losing out on money right there. I would have never paid somebody to make me a YouTube thumbnail. I would have never paid for that.
That's right. And me neither. I've been doing this 5 years with my streaming, and I only have like, I want to say maybe like 400 subscribers on YouTube, mainly because the thumbnail thing was holding me back. Now I can just type in a prompt and generate it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for sure, but I mean, there's a lot to the YouTube game, dude. There's a lot to it.
I need you to put me on. I want one of those plaques you got hanging back there.
Oh, which one? I got a couple of them hanging back there. Boy, let me see.
Shit. I need the 100,000 subscriber one. Isn't that the first one that you get?
I got two of them. See.
So what's the second one? You get one for 100K, and then is the other for 250K?
That's 2 different channels.
Oh my God, he's him. He's him. Oh, you got your monster today? Nice. There you go.
Well,
what flavor is that?
What, dude? I got my monster because I finished my morning Mountain Dew. This is my straight out the gate. I go Diet Mountain Dew.
Nice.
I don't really normally drink energy drinks, but like I said, man,
yeah,
I didn't get off the plane until midnight. So
I feel that.
Here we go.
I feel that. Sometimes you need that extra boost, especially if you're catching red eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I got a long work day today too. I got a ton of catching up to do from the weekend, and then I'm teaching class tonight. Then we got the Jiu-Jitsu Open. We got a big tournament.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I've been getting everybody jazzed up. We got like 30 students in this tournament on Saturday.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I've been telling them this is a home game. They're not going to bring this tournament to our hometown, and nobody else is walking out with the first place. Nobody. I want
No
them
one.
all. I'm coming for all of them, dude. I want every
Hell
one
yeah.
of them.
Hell yeah. Nice. That's exciting. That's exciting.
Brandon Redbeard said, on the topic of BJJ, okay, I just turned 50 and I began jiu-jitsu 11 months ago. First of all, big ups, dude. 50 years old, which means you started at 49. Dude, big ups. That's not easy.
That's awesome. No, not at
I
all.
just got ran over by a 1 month white belt who was 25 years old and athletic AF. Yep. Doing flying cartwheel passes on my butterfly guard. My life flashed before my eyes when he did that.
I just picture that in my head right there.
Listen, dog. 25-year-olds be doing that to me too. You've been training 11 months. I've been training 20 years. Like full time, total committed for the 2 decades. And that happens to me too.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say that just goes to show you, like, number one, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can always start at any time. But then number two, like, obviously someone half your age is probably going to be more athletic than you. But I would say more importantly, like, we had that that talk last week when Tim was on, and we were talking about how, like, what are you more afraid of, the purple belt, the technical purple belt, or the athletic beginner? And everyone said athletic beginner because you just don't know what that guy's going to do. He might catch you off guard and get across your butterfly guard, and then, like, you're panicking. Then you're cooked.
I wouldn't say more afraid of. I would say more likely to get hurt training with.
True.
Because, like, if I don't care about hurting you, well, I'm not afraid of a white belt.
Right.
The reason you get nervous rolling with inexperienced, crazy strong athletic people is because you're trying to help them and they don't understand that you're just playing with them. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying.
Of course.
I'm trying to make sure that you don't hurt you or me, and that we both get a little value out of this little sparring session. I'm obviously not going to get any value beating you up. That doesn't help me. Of course I can beat you up.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand, then you just come in and you're going and flailing as hard as you can. I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
Dude, chill out. And then inevitably you fall weird and roll your ankle, or step weird and land on your partner's wrist in a weird way because you were flailing around while they were being pretty cool with you. That's where you're scared of white belts, not because, oh my God, this guy might submit me or be better than me. Like, you would never even consider that. Right.
Got it.
But a purple belt, that's a guy who's been training probably 5, maybe 8 years. He's past that stage.
I was curious
and he's dangerous and knows things.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like, that becomes, like, that's what people are really scared of, though. I think.
You know, that somebody just made a good comment too, like in the same vein. Grave God on my comments, he said, same with FPS games. And that's so true, because if you look at, like, I know you don't really follow games like that, BMAC, but
I don't even know what that means.
So FPS is first person shooters, right? So, like, Call of Duty.
Hey, I know. Okay, I'm ready. I'm there.
You know Call of Duty. Everybody knows Call of Duty, right?
I've seen it. I've never played it.
So, man, I might have to get you on a couple of games when we link up. I know you're not into that. If I'm getting on the mat, I got to get you on 1 or 2 games, not to flex on you or anything like that, but just to have a good time.
That's fair. That's fair. If I can get you to do jiu-jitsu, I will play a video game.
Yeah, come on, man. So anyway, so with FPS, so, like, I know Fortnite is not necessarily an FPS, but if you go back and look at, like, the Fortnite World Cup and things like that, the people who were winning that, they were teenagers. And even if you look at eSports now, like, guys like if you guys know of, like, Optic Gaming, right? And guys like Scump, like, these guys used to be unstoppable, and even now they're still really good. But as you age, without drugs, you naturally just lose your reaction speed. And when you're like a teenager or a kid up until like, you're in your early 20s, mid 20s, like a guy like Scump, I don't know how old he is now. He's probably like in his late 20s, maybe even mid 20s. And he's retired. He does content creation now because he cannot keep up with these younger guys with their fast twitch speed and how easy it is for them to point and click or move their thumb and just have
That's
better
interesting.
anticipation. Like it's just amazing that comparison is there where it comes to like younger people. Although I will say like I feel like the barrier to entry for jujitsu is probably a little more like age friendly in terms of being competitive. I don't know
Are
if
you
that
talking about
guy
for sports or versus
well
FPS?
yeah, the sports versus like shooter game, like esports, sports versus esports. I feel like the barrier to entry, well, obviously, unless we're talking about like professional NBA players and stuff like that, like there's going to
Yeah.
be, depending on what you're talking about, there's always going to be a barrier to entry. But I do feel like if we were to take that same 50-year-old guy who just started jujitsu, right? And try to get him to play a FPS game, I think the barrier to entry to that esports type of game and that competitive environment, obviously, I'm not going to down jujitsu. I just think it will be harder to compete with these younger guys in gaming just because of the fast twitch like reaction speed that is required, and it's just innate in the younger people versus the older. You might still be athletic, you might still be quick and strong, but it's just like this video gaming world is different.
I'll tell
Even
you
now in
I'll tell you
2K,
why
I can't keep up
I'll tell you
sometimes.
why I disagree with what you're saying.
Go ahead.
Because what are the consequences to not being able to keep up in an FPS shooter? I lose the
Not
game.
getting hurt.
But you lose the game, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
the
Yeah,
consequences.
right.
What's the consequences to not being able to keep up in the jujitsu room? Physical consequences.
Yeah, that's obviously the biggest difference.
I'm going to be sore
100%.
tomorrow. So the
Yeah.
barrier to entry, the barrier to getting good. Now you might be right.
Well, right. I guess I
But
could have
that's
been more
not the
specific there.
barrier.
Yeah.
That's not the barrier to entry. The
Yeah,
barrier to
anybody
entry
can.
for jujitsu is pretty tough because in fact, I would say it might be the most not most difficult of the combat sport. I should say the barrier to entry for combat sports
Okay,
is
that makes sense then.
a harder barrier to entry than anything in the world that
Sure.
I'm aware of.
Sure,
The
sure.
barrier to getting good, now if you land in a good spot, there is no barrier to getting good. People want to help you. That's what's beautiful about a community and martial arts and stuff like that. Where I do think maybe the barrier to getting good might be higher with something like what you're talking about. Because in jujitsu,
Sure.
once you're in, people want you to get good.
Yeah, yeah.
The better you get, the better training partner you make for me. It's in my best interest for you to be as good as possible.
And I remember what you were saying about how you feel like it's now your responsibility to like bring these people together because of the way that jujitsu has just naturally become with different factions and teams and just being so siloed and separated. And you're trying to be that middle guy to kind of be the glue to bring things together. That makes a lot of sense that you would say something like, it behooves me as a coach and a trainer and just a sparring partner in general to help someone, genuinely help them become a better fighter, and I think in anything there's gonna be gatekeeping and people not wanting to work together and people not wanting to see other esports teams and whatever the case may be, even like your colleague at work, if you don't do gaming or combat sports, like that's the natural human competitive side, because it's kind of like an instinctual thing where you don't want someone to take food off your table. And that goes into another thing that we talked about, which is something that you're doing, and I believe in firmly as well, that there's enough space at the table for all of us and all of
Yeah.
our families to eat, So I think that in particular is like an underrated thing that you and I share in common together, is wanting to see other people succeed. Like, obviously, yeah, I want a roof over my head and I want to be able to take care of my family. But what kind of legacy are you leaving behind? And what type of example are you providing to your friends, family, and children if you're not inspiring someone, if you're not trying to bring things together. People and teams are the great part of the greatest resources on earth. I always say to my community, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And now look, we're on, because I took the chance to try on Facebook. We were just watching some of my older videos, and we've just come so far over the last 5 years in terms of just overall stream quality and just gaming quality and all of these things. It was just amazing to see how different. I had shorter hair, but my beard was bigger. It was just crazy to see, but it's still the same microphone and still same Mr. Shy City energy. It's just now channeled into something that is so much more entertaining and productive. And that's because I worked on my craft every single day. And look exactly what you have done with your 3 businesses, not just PGF World, but everything that you've got going on. When you have a good heart and your overall mission isn't just to make money. I've always said that to my stream. I don't want necessarily to be rich or famous. I want to inspire my people. I want to create the CFAM network. So everyone who has been a brother of mine and has helped me get to where I'm at, they can also achieve their dreams and goals and be successful.
Oh yeah, dude. I think if my goal was to make money, I would be in a totally different industry. Jiu-jitsu is known, that's one of the narratives is oh, this is not a money making industry. And that's true. This is with the things that, my particular skill set and just the way that things I know and things I know how to do, I can
Yeah.
make a lot more money in some other industry. Like what I know about social media and streaming and stuff, dude, I feel like I could make as much money as I wanted to, but that's not what I want.
It
I
helps that
it's
we're in
it's
early
good. Yeah,
early adopters.
it's good to make as much money with this endeavor as I can with the PGF so that I can accomplish my overall goal, which is to lift the sport to a new place.
Absolutely.
So the money becomes important to that, but I don't care about it. It doesn't I don't want
As
it.
long as you're comfortable
Yeah,
and you're able to take care, pay your bills and have your
I don't.
family's comfortable, like
Yeah, what do I want? What am I after? I'm after changing the game forever. I'm
absolutely.
I'm competing on a celestial scale. I wanna have left the game in a completely different place than where I found it.
Heck
Not
yeah.
not drag all the money out of what's there. I don't see how much money I can get out of what already exists. No, no, no. I wanna rewrite the whole thing so that everybody else can do that.
And it's a blessing that you have the ability to do so because a lot of people, like we
Yeah,
talked about last
it's
week,
wild.
they have to go to a 9 to 5 and then they can't put as much time into their businesses as they want to. So thank God that we're able to be comfortable and we're here talking on a Thursday, morning or afternoon. People are listening right now and they're at work or school. And that's not me putting them down at all. I'm glad that we can
Of
entertain
course
you.
not.
Somebody's got to keep the lights on. You know what I mean? But maybe you're going to take these words that myself and BMAC are saying and be inspired. Be inspired. You may not know, like I had this talk the other day. Never give up on your goals. Never stop chasing your dreams. You have to do what you have to do for yourself. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Not everyone's going to like you. And if you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other every single day. Every single day. And believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Coral with the gifted subby over the grave god. Carl, thank you so much. Appreciate that, brother.
This is Jacob Martin popping over from the YouTube. What's up, BMAC? Appreciate you. You've had a big impact on my game and staying in the game from white to blue belt. Well, thank you
That's
for
awesome.
watching. Glad it's been helpful, man. That's the stuff that keeps me feeling motivated right there.
100%.
I do. I just want to help, man. I just want to help. So always feel free to pop in. I appreciate you supporting. Don't be scared to head over to Kick. Set us up over there.
Yes. I don't want to beg, but come on now. Come on, guys. I see we got, how many you got over there? About 50? Okay. And I've got what, 80? Okay, so that's good. Like people are actually listening to us. Please come over to Kick. Like I said, I don't want to beg, but that if you can't afford to support the stream monetarily, this is a free way. Not even necessarily the stream, but the BGF and the fighters. If you want to support the fighters, I don't know if you've announced what your plan is for season X, BMAC, but
No.
there's a lot of interesting stuff coming down the pipeline, and you guys make that easier by creating a Kick account and coming over here. And we just got a bunch of other followers that I didn't get a chance to shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where was that at?
While you look at that, shout out to the Colorado Wolverines. So let me tell you about this. The Colorado Wolverines is a fascinating story. So the guy that owns the Wolverines, we call him Egghead. He started watching the PGF on the YouTube stream in season one. Season one, the very first week, very first matches that were ever up, that dude was in there in the comments. Okay. He's the super fan, writing articles, studying the fantasy. And then eventually he decides, hey, I'm going to go down and like actually watch one live. So he drives down from, I think he was in like North Carolina at the time, drives down to Alabama, watches live, and then eventually ends up on the broadcast team. He's on the commentary team. So he goes from the chat to watching to being on the commentary team to owning a team.
That's awesome.
I know. To me, that's
like owning the team.
He owns the Colorado Wolverines.
What?
That's right.
Wait, what's the guy's name?
We call him Egghead, but that's him right there. This is him right here in the chat. Colorado Wolverines.
That's so cool, man.
To me, that's an even crazier story than the PGF story itself.
Yeah,
that's wild. Yeah. So from the chat to the owner's box.
Man, what a come up. Yeah, hero's journey. Exactly. Wow, man. Congratulations. That's so cool. That is so cool to be able to do something like that. And that just, I mean, literally what we just talked about. If you want to do something, you have to go do it for yourself. Don't wait for someone to hold your hand and do it. And if you want to potentially own a team, I mean, that just gave me the idea. I think I'm going to be moving out of Florida pretty soon, but hey, maybe we need a team from Atlanta if I move there. Maybe we need a Chicago team if I move there. The sky's the limit. We can do whatever we want. Let's take over the world. CFAM and PGF world. Come on, man. What's stopping us? Only ourselves. Come on, man. Let's do it. Did Grave send a? Oh yeah, Grave or Carl sent a subby over to Grave in your chat and on Kick.
Oh yeah. B-Mac. So I just see them all come together. So whenever they come through, I'm just assuming they're coming through on your side because they all the comments and stuff from all the channels that we would be on pour into my same stream. That's good, I don't get the differentiate, and I also don't get the notifications on my side on subs and kicks and stuff. So
if I see it, I'll give you a heads up. Yeah.
You hit it up that way. I can actually say thank you to him.
Yeah, I definitely will. Carl's my guy, man. He's another one of those CFAM guys that has just been there for half a decade, man. Like he's one of my top gifters. He lives in Estonia. That's the guy we were talking about from last week.
Yeah, dude.
It's you know, what is it, 11:20 for you? So he's 9 hours ahead of you. He's 8 hours ahead of me. So it's funny because how he found me was on Facebook, but he would like a lot of these guys will like be working during the day, and then like Ace is 5 hours ahead. So when he'll get off of work, like I'll be sleeping while they're both working. Then when they get off work, I'm just getting my day started. So that's how the CFAM has really just become worldwide. And I do want to incorporate more night streams. Like this weekend, I'm going to be live all weekend long because I'm driving engagement for a community day. So I'm trying to get my schedule, like obviously PGF World, you know, all the events, the events start at 6:37 p.m. Eastern. So you guys are getting all the people who are off work and now they're interested. And I think that will just unlock another channel for us, another level instead of just being during the day. The podcasts are good for during the day, but the community gaming, better in the evening when more people are available. That's why if you ever tune in and see me playing 2K and I'm raging a little bit, it's because we don't have a full team. And it's way harder to play a sports game without a full team.
Listen,
You
dog,
know, so
we got to talk to you about this raging. We can't be doing that.
you're
We
not
got
wrong.
we got to let it go.
You're
Like
not wrong.
when the homeboy popped on the stream the other day, and you were like, "I'm gonna kill this guy." Like, nah, just let it slide.
My
It's
people have
not
been
worth it.
telling me to let it go for sure.
Yeah, they're right. They're right.
For sure.
I
It's
thought
something
about
I'm
saying
working
that.
on.
Hey, dude, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
we all deserve
Absolutely.
a
But
little. We all deserve a little grace,
I do understand
including
that
including our critics.
for sure. For sure. And I do understand that there are bigger things at potential opportunities, you know, that could be potentially squandered with that type of thing. I just think that that has been my content for so long that now it's time to try to evolve and make it more of a funny thing instead of like an angry thing. You know what I mean? I think that's probably the
Yeah, I
biggest
feel
thing.
that. You know what
So
I really think though? I really, just the world that I'm in. It's a world where man versus man, we go head to head, and sometimes it gets tense, dude. You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
it gets tense face to face. But so I guess I've learned to not get rowdy about situations like that.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, most importantly, what I've learned is that a lot of times the two that go like this
Yeah, yeah.
end up being good friends
The
and
best friends.
good training
Yeah.
partners and good allies for one another. And it's like sometimes you need
Yes.
that to understand one another as men for some reason.
Absolutely.
Like
It's definitely a man thing.
this is a test to find out what, and it's not even conscious. It's just I think the nature of being human, but specifically being men. Like sometimes I gotta know how far you're willing to go.
You know what? That's a good comment that Carl just made right there in my
Go
stream,
ahead,
where
I
he
got you.
says that I'm like that because CFAM got trolled really bad from Facebook. Excuse me. And I think I kind of like I may have told you guys about that a little bit, but not to like rehash any old stuff. But we're a work in progress in terms of not taking stuff personally, but a lot of personal stuff happened
No,
when
I
we
get
were on
that.
Facebook with weirdos reaching out to my lady and trying to disrupt my relationship and like over a video game. So like we're really protective about our community and our space. And sometimes the old Mr. Shy City comes out when I'm trying to like give people the benefit of the doubt and give the critics a little bit of grace. Some people are just disrespectful.
It's true. And on the internet it's definitely true. But you know what, dude? Hurt people hurt people. You know what I'm
Bars.
saying? So
Retweet.
of course, if you've had an injury in some way before, you're going to protect that injury. Like
100%.
I got a funky left ankle. I got to be careful where I step.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's an injury that can get ugly faster than if I injured my right ankle. You know,
That's right.
the
No
left
reason to
ankle, yeah, it
no
can get
no
ugly
re-
fast.
yeah, no reason to carry that like poison, so to speak, with you. Because if somebody else imparts their poison onto you and you just carry that, you just keep getting like taking that hit over and over. And
Yeah,
then they
dude.
win.
They win and you lose more. You lose extra.
That's right.
You lose extra. It's just it doesn't serve. It doesn't benefit. Obviously, it doesn't benefit you, but it doesn't benefit anyone. Like control the controllables. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
the things you can't control, you just got to let them go.
I'm a big believer of that.
What can you control? What can I control? I should be stressed about. I should stress those things. And what are those things? My attitude, my work ethic, my treatment of others, my
Absolutely.
schedule, my family. You can't control your family, but you can control what you get what I mean. Like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I am around them. Those things are all in my control.
That's right.
And so I should control them. I should stress about doing my best in those things. And just about everything else is out of my control. So why would I let it touch me? Why
I'm
would I
with
let
you
it
on
move?
that. Although, so the only thing that I would push back on is this, and the reason why I would push back a little bit is
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
because of like what has happened. Like, there's two examples for today and yesterday, but I think today it's a little bit like more like something that you guys can relate to. So me and my buddy we've been debating sports like with the playoffs going crazy, and one guy's a big Cleveland fan, and now all of a sudden Cleveland's up 3-2, and now
Oh, we're about to talk. We're gonna talk basketball. You know
yeah,
I'm
so
ready.
so I don't even know where to begin. But before we get like too deep into that, essentially the whole point of me even bringing that up was the fact that I just don't think that if we are debating sports or debating anything in general, it should not cross over to personal.
Personal,
Right.
100%. It should
Right.
never. I should never let
Politics,
it get too
anything
personal.
like yeah, it should never. I am a firm believer that it should never cross over into the personal. So with
Yeah,
that
and
being
dude, and
said,
some people are just beyond you personally being able to help them or whatever. 100%. You got to
so
have
the
your lines. You got to have your boundaries.
yes,
But I can
so
almost always control the tone of the conversation.
of course,
That's almost
of course.
always in my
Well,
control.
that's a skill that you get as you get a little bit older. Remember, you got a couple years on me. I'm still working on myself. You're a
Wait a
little
minute,
bit
we're the
more.
same age. How old are you?
I'll be 39 this year.
Okay, I'm a little bit older than you.
Yes.
And to your defense, so I'll be 46 here 2 weeks.
Nice. Happy
To
early
your
birthday.
Thank you. To your defense, I wasn't as good at this in my mid 30s. And especially, dude, when I was on the come up as an athlete, as a jujitsu guy. And this is what it goes back to me talking like this. Like,
Yeah.
yo,
Seriously.
you need that, but it's not always about the other person. It's almost always this was about me and my
100%.
own insecurities. I didn't know I was good and so how good I was. And so I needed to test myself against you. It
Right.
didn't have anything to do with you. It was actually me going, "You're good. I perceive you to be at this level. And so I need to know." And that, especially when you're competitive, that can
Dude.
make things a little, it can make things a little bitey. You know what I'm saying? But over
So
time, I
yeah,
came and experience and just being on the mat against whoever I could get my hands on for 20 years,
yeah.
I began to understand my actual place.
For
And
sure. And
that
that
took
comes with
away the
time and
tension
experience.
and the need to test. So
Yes.
now you're new. You're brand new to jujitsu. Now,
Absolutely.
if me and you roll, I don't need to use you as a gauge to find out if I'm good. I know I'm good. I'm very good.
Man, that's
And
a
I
really good
don't
point.
care what you think about it. If you want to tap me 4 times and go tell all your friends on stream, yo, I beat Brandon on my very first day. I will lose 0 sleep over it because
That's
I
right.
know.
What you've accomplished and who you
But if
are.
I don't know, that would drive me crazy.
So it goes back to that confidence that we talked about last week too. But before we swerve too far, so the point of
Sorry,
what
I
I
get
brought up
excited.
was no, you're good. So really the whole point of what I brought up was that so what happened was that we were debating sports, right? And we were talking about James Harden and how
Okay.
James Harden is known as a playoff choke artist. And so now
Banged
he
out last
is
night though, didn't he?
the last 2 nights, even in
I
before
know.
he still leads the playoffs right now for overall turnovers. So he was fulfilling that narrative of being a playoff choke artist, right? So I was just talking to, and so then my buddy's argument against that was, top 10 in playoff scoring or games played or whatever it is. And I'm like, bro, none of that matters if you can't win a ring. Right. So then he brings up this comment, which was, you've been streaming for how long? And something about like not being at 1,000 viewers or whatever. And I'm like, hold on now. What does me streaming and my amount of viewers have to do with the sports debate that we're talking about? So then I'm like, bro, like, why are we swerving into like being personal here? And like then he goes, well, you just take everything personal. I can't make you feel a certain way. And I'm like, brother, that sounds like somebody who feels like they can just say whatever they want to say and not take accountability for what they're saying. You're not wrong. You can't make me feel anything, but that is not a license for you to be disrespectful. This is my platform, my world, my life. If I don't like what you're saying, you're timed out. I don't care if you think that I'm sensitive or taking that personally. You and this guy is someone who was there when all that weird 2K Pro-Am stuff was happening on Facebook. So he knows the PTSD that we have. But if you frame that as me taking it personally and you think that it just gives you a license to be disrespectful, you need to hold this time out for 5 minutes or an hour, come back later. And the guy texted me, he hit me up. He was like, brother, I didn't mean to take anything personally. And thank you for being a man about it. Because there's no reason for us to destroy and throw away a 5-year relationship over sports debates. You know,
that's another cool thing about jiu-jitsu, dude.
Yeah.
Is that we could just take it out on the mat and settle it if we need to.
And that's exactly where the conversation swerved into. I was like, bro, how big are you? He didn't say how tall he was, but he said he's like 165. I said, brother, I'm 265 and I'm 6'4". Do you really think if we had a street fight right now, you're going to mess me up? I want to grab you. I'm not trying to box. Only way you're not losing is if you run away. The second you get close to me and I get these paws on you, I'd like to see you get out of that. I told him, I'm like, brother, I'm going to lay on you. No Diddy. I'm going to lay on top of you.
A little bit of Diddy.
I'm going to lay on top of you and you cannot move. Then it swerved into basketball. Well, you can't beat me in basketball. You're too slow. I said, brother, if I get the ball first and I'm in the post and you're 165, you are not stopping me. Then he's like, well, you didn't play ball in college. Brother, yes, I did. Yes, I did. So then it just became like this whole personal thing where he's like grasping at straws. And I'm like, you know what? You've hijacked my stream now. It's all love, fam, but come back another time. And then we were able to like squash it as friends and like be cool. But it's just like, to me, like, don't be disrespect. Don't turn a sports debate into something personal and then get mad at me when I check you on that. Like, that's not license for you to be disrespectful just because you didn't intend for me to feel a certain way. And that's conversations I've had with my lady too. Well, I didn't mean to minimize the fact that you got verified or kick partner. I just want to know what your next plan is. And now, boom, now we've clearly communicated. We've clearly gotten on the same page. And it's like we've talked about, this is our third time talking about this now. It's not us versus each other. It's not me versus you or you versus me. It's us versus the problem. And as long as we can communicate like adults without making things personal and doing personal attacks, I mean, this is basic stuff we're talking about. If you guys don't know this, please start taking notes. This is basic knowledge that BMAC and I are dropping on you guys right now. Although I will reel it all the way back and say you're not wrong at all, BMAC. I am a work in progress. I am trying to get better about, because the bigger you get, the more trolls are going to come for you, you know? Yep. And the second you acknowledge them, they feel like they've won.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I tried to ignore that guy from last week, but
well, you saw how I was handling it when it was going off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was in my streams too.
Yeah. That guy went in all 3 of our streams. And once he got banned in mine,
I didn't even address it.
Yeah, I just had to get him out of there because the reason why I normally would have ignored it, but you were popping up his comments when we shifted to talking about LeBron and Jordan, and I'm like, I don't want this guy.
But you see how I handled it though?
Yeah, yeah. You made him turn into something else. That was good.
I want you to take note. Yes. When he said something that added to the conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
You were quote unquote rewarded. True. You're welcome into the conversation now.
True.
This kind of behavior I will engage with. This kind of behavior I will not engage with.
Right. So you train them. I get you on that.
Train is not necessarily the right word, but like, yeah, look, I'll talk to, like, when I'm raising my kids, I'm an old man now. My
We
son is
know.
21. My son is 21. My daughter is 18. When my kids are little, it's if they start going to, well, I don't want to. Like, sorry, I can't understand you when you talk like that.
Right.
Let's calm down, get your breath underneath you, so that you can. Dad, well, I can't understand you when you talk like that. I don't respond to whining, but I do respond to request, because what I want more than anything is to be able to get you what you want. But
Absolutely.
I can't hear you when you talk to me like that.
It makes sense. It all makes
I
sense
can't
now.
hear you when you talk to me like that.
See, I just have a 9-year-old or 8-year-old, so like I haven't raised grown children. I haven't had to unlock that level of BMAC patience and Zen yet. What does he say?
Listen,
It's the same as number 6 example. Understand each other's point of view. I see 9, you see 6, but the problem stays the same. That's a good point. It's all about perspective.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Everything you say just makes me go, my brother, you need jujitsu in your life.
Yes.
I know I sound like some kind of evangelist, but
You're like knocking on my door. Can I talk to you about your car's extended warranty?
I literally can't think of anything, like any one activity that you could do,
Yeah.
not just you, but any person,
Sure,
that
sure.
can give you as many of the building blocks of life and relationship and physical health and mental health and all of these things. I can't think of any activity that can lay the building blocks for those things more than jiu-jitsu does.
It's amazing how like a combat sport can really just set the tone for perspective and how you carry yourself. Have you heard the good news? Jiu-jitsu. Yes, that's always the good news. Country says I'm the poster child of patience. That's one of the things that I like about Country, since I've known him over these last like 4 to 5 years, is that he definitely whenever I start getting into something with somebody, Country's always like, why do you care? Just let it go.
That's how I felt when you were in with going in on the dude the other day. I was like,
yeah, just a waste of time and energy.
It is, yeah. And not just that, but it could have been fine. It could have been fine. So just like what I'm telling you about what I was doing with his comments. It could have been fine. What he was doing is trying to get your attention. Well, this attention, you're not going to get my attention this way, but you can get my attention by engaging with the conversation in a healthy and productive way. Oh, beautiful. You get what I'm saying?
I agree. Only pushback I'll
Look,
give on that
I'm just being an old man. I'm being an old dad.
No. Listen,
feel free to tell me to shut up.
No, well, I don't disagree with you. I just think that there's other stuff that there's like more to it than just what you're privy to on the stream.
For sure.
Like I have history with this particular person who has pushed my buttons for years now. And now that I'm finally doing big boy stuff on podcasts with big boys, now you're going to hijack my streams and do stuff like that. That just made me get a little bit out of character, last week. But I really didn't think I handled it that poorly. I thought I had to interrupt you what we were talking about before. But it turned into a funny thing. Tim banned him out of his chat. You end up banning him.
Tim's a major troll. Tim's a major troll.
Yeah, so we turned that into something better. Like this is a guy who has never supported what I've done. He literally wanted me to stop the podcast and play 2K with him. Like that has to be some child or some kid, right? Had to be.
You know what though, dude? He got you again. He's not.
No, he didn't.
He's not even in here, and he's got you.
No, he didn't. Did I bring him up? I hope I didn't, because if I did, then that's my fault.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who brought him up, but that feeling that you got you again. He got you again. He didn't even mean to. He didn't even try to.
Well, there's that poison. Hopefully that's the last little bit I've just let out of my body. Thank you, Ace. Stop putting Ace's comments up there.
No, dude, that's my boy. I already know I love this guy.
Yeah, Ace is a baiter. He baits masterfully.
I see. I see. I see.
Man, so to shift gears a little bit, you
Yeah,
said you
go
had a
ahead.
guest. Did they have to cancel? You
Well,
said
I
you.
had a guy. No, I mean it wasn't like an official guest. I just told him I was
Okay.
going to pop on, and if he wanted to jump in, he could. But
Okay.
he'll
Okay.
get in eventually. He's got the link if he comes in. No
Okay.
worries.
Okay. I just wasn't sure because I had a couple of other guys who had like mentioned potentially getting on, and I haven't heard from them either. So I didn't want to like hijack and have somebody come up when if
I
you
don't
had your
care.
guy like backstage waiting
No, I
to
don't care.
come
You can
in.
bring on anybody you want anytime.
Okay, so
And
how
then,
about this then? Just to kind of like, I don't know if you have street beefs or something that you want to do, but I have some more of
dude,
those questions from last week if you want to go over some more of those that we didn't get to.
yeah, we could definitely do that. I'm super
Or we
down.
can talk about NBA playoffs or like
Yeah.
whatever you
Oh
guys want
yeah,
to do.
I definitely want to get into the NBA playoffs, but I'm happy to answer questions as well.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me just quickly pull this up. Podcast. We got it saved over here.
Dude, look how nasty this hat is. You see that around the rim right there?
Oh man, I didn't even notice that. I thought that was part of the design.
A straight sweat is what that is.
That's funny. I've had so many hats like that too. Where is this at? Tags. Inquiry? Is this it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, here we go. Here we go. What did he say? So I got bullied a lot when I was younger, and all the fighting changed my life and the way I see things. One thing that kind of helped me deal with it was rage baiting people back sometimes. I understand that. I don't know. I guess well, you know what? Also, Ace is 26 years old. So
He's
I
a
just
child.
I just don't care to rage bait people. Life is too short. I'm too old for that.
I don't like it. It stresses me out, you know.
And especially reading a comment, you can't read tone and body language through a comment on the internet.
At all.
So then when I check you on something crazy, oh, I was just baiting, that just goes back to like not being accountable for your words and actions.
Dude, I got a friend who is dealing with getting harassed online right now. And I was telling this person literally yesterday, I was at the airport, like trying to talk him off, not off the literal ledge, but you know, the proverbial ledge.
Sure.
And I was like, listen, if these things bother you, you don't need to spend time online. Online is not for you. You know,
1000%.
not if they bother, like things are going to bother people just naturally, but like if you're going to let them affect you on like in your real life and how you feel, then
you just got to avoid those situations.
You got to stay away
those stressors. I'm right there with you. Okay, so let's just pivot a little bit to some of these questions because I got them pulled up right here. And if I ask the same question from last week, let me know because sometimes
I don't care. I'll answer it 5 times in a row. I'll answer it back to back 7 times, dude.
6 times, like the GOAT. Okay, this is a good one. Well, these two kind of go together.
All right, lay it on me.
Why do some gyms feel culty? And what's a red flag when visiting a gym?
Oh, man, that's a good question. That come in from your community or is that from you?
No, that's me. Why do some gyms feel culty? And what's a red flag when visiting a gym that kind of gets your antennas up like, ooh, when you walk in there?
So definitely a lot of gyms do feel culty. And I think just kind of the natural way that martial arts works is like there's kind of like a natural hierarchy to it. Just because as soon as you, and I guess it's kind of true with anything, but there's like a natural hierarchy to things. And then with jujitsu, they wear that hierarchy on their uniform. white belt, blue belt.
It's a natural divider.
Yes. And it's easy when people walk in, and I want to make sure that you hear this the right way.
Of
But
course.
generally speaking, people want to be led.
Yes.
Generally, not every person, but probably every person. I want
It's
to
an
be led.
innate thing. Yeah.
I feel like I'm a strong leader, but I want to be led. There are times and areas in which I don't want to be the leader here. I want to be led. I want
Of
to
course.
learn from this. So naturally, people want to be led.
100%.
And naturally, when you walk into an environment and there's a hierarchy, especially even like in jiu-jitsu, like I said, a visible hierarchy, and then there's a physical hierarchy to it as well,
For
where
sure.
I can assert my physical will on you as well. All right, so you know things I don't know about something I care about. You're better than me at something I care about. I can see that you outrank me. I know you own there's all these little things where it's ripe for somebody who's a jerk that gets into a position of power to take advantage of it.
Dude, that is so many things in life too.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's gatekeeping 101.
Gatekeeping, and it's a chance to reel people in and take advantage of them if you're that kind of person.
And I think a lot of people who
Jiu-jitsu
are,
gives you a perfect opportunity to do something like that.
it's
If that's
almost like being a
that's what
police
you are.
officer.
Yes, it's a
Where
lot of power in that way.
Yeah, like you see the type of guys that are in law enforcement where you can tell they were bullied when they were children or whatever, when they were coming up. They're quick to try to exert their authority. Authority is the right word, regardless of law enforcement or whatever it is.
Yeah. And regardless of how you feel about the word authority, like we're
Yeah.
speaking about it in a general, like definitional sense.
Yeah, exactly. So with that culty type of like vibe, are there specific red flags? And do you feel those red flags like I'm sure there's some that you can feel right away, like if the gym is disgusting.
Yeah,
But
of
I
course.
just mean like in terms of like, okay, well, that guy said or did this, and now I understand why this place felt a little like culty or clicky. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like what red flag would that be that gets your antenna to go off?
like knowing now, looking
Yeah.
back, you mean like, you're
Yeah.
looking to come in as a beginner for the first time. Give me some advice. What are some things I need to stay away from? That's the question.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
He said it's like Karate Kid. Cobra Kai was a red flag. Yeah, but we didn't know. We didn't know.
No, we didn't. We got caught off guard.
Flags, dude. They were training so hard.
That's
I
funny.
would say, obviously, if you walk in and the instructor or the staff gives you a weird feeling, but like that would be a red flag right away. But most of the things I would say are yellow flags. They're not an indication in and of themselves because it's really the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like this and this, and they do that, you know. But like, I'll give you an example of what I mean.
Yeah.
You can only wear our uniform, our school uniform at practice. Well, that's not a red flag, but it might be it might be just an indication that they're a good business person and that that's an important leg of their revenue. But it might be an indication also that they're trying to control. And if that is combined with a couple of other things, a pattern of this person wants control begins to emerge. Does that make sense?
So to clarify a little bit further, because to me, like, I feel like that's a basic thing for any gym. Like if you're in my gym, I don't want you wearing other gyms. If you're there as a guest, that's one thing. But if you're enrolled, I wouldn't want you wearing another gym stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a yellow flag. That might be something that is important to you, but you don't exert that type of behavior in other spots.
You don't die on that hill. I see.
That's right. That's just one thing that we do at our school. Like it's to build team spirit. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But the why is important. You get what I'm saying? The why is important.
So, and you're saying, so like if there's multiple little things like that, that might make you feel like, okay,
Those
these
start to
guys are kind
become
of
a
like
red
on that
flag.
side of the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts to become a red flag.
Okay.
Hey, you when you step onto the mats, before you walk on, you have to bow. You have to wait for the instructor, you have to bow, and you have to be welcomed onto the mat.
That's what Ivan was saying he didn't
Not
like
a red
about it in
flag.
Taiwan.
Not a red flag,
But it could be.
but it could be a
Yellow.
yellow.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
again, but now
I
they
see.
do both of those things. They have a uniform and they do that. You're like,
Starting to feel a little culty over here.
Well, just
or unwelcoming.
just data to note.
Right. Write that down.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So if I were to take that same question and apply it to myself, I mean, it's very easy. Like when let's say one of the biggest things is like PC people versus console people. That's been a huge argument forever that PC players think that they're just better than console players. And now that I have a PC, I think I agree.
He's like, I used to be anti-cult and now I'm in.
Dude, I'm in there now. I got my new monitor. That's why I keep checking my phone. My new 4K OLED monitor is coming today. And brother, when I tell you I'm about to see, my eyeballs are about to experience pixels I've never seen before because I've been capped at 30 or 60 FPS my whole life. Man, I'm mad that I waited this long. And I get what these PC guys were trying to say. That's not to say, yeah, controller versus mouse and keyboard. Dude, I've been trying to get into mouse and key. My wrist still hurts. It still hurts. I think I'm actually going to have to go grab. I think I just spoke it into existence.
Oh, shoot.
Do you need my signature, sir? Okay, great. Thank you. Have a good day.
Dude.
Let me go grab that.
Go grab it. And while you're gone, I'm going to bring in my visiting guest here.
Nice.
This is the guy I was telling you about, Logan. His name is Logan Summit. I'll introduce you to him when he gets back. I think he's still getting set up behind the scenes.
Okay. All right. Let me just run really quick and I'll grab this monitor and bring it in and I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Let me make sure he's got this invite link here. All right, Logan, just shoot me a text on the back if you're having issues. You could probably use, I don't know what you're using, but you could probably do your virtual cam on OBS as your camera. So you could probably go and change your video and audio settings. Oh man, you guys started talking about video games and I just got lost right away. Jacob Martin's right here. Jacob Martin. Jiu-jitsu question. Whenever I'm in the lockdown, all right, let's do this. Whenever I'm in the lockdown, I have people taking their free leg foot, inserting it like a butterfly hook to break my lockdown over time. How to fix or counter? Well, great question. The number one thing that you need to, I would say this is generally true about anything. The first technique you need to know is when to bail. And if your lockdown is getting broken open over time, that tells me that you're hanging on too long. So let's imagine a situation where you're on the bottom of half guard and he has the underhook and you have the lockdown, but he's got the underhook and you feel that he's starting to break your lockdown open. If that's the case, you need to think about utilizing that overhook to get your butterfly hook in. You should have already moved on, is my question. To me, and I would need to kind of see what you're doing probably, but to me, it sounds like you're hanging on to the lockdown for too long. So my advice is know when to bail. Oh, shoot. Man, we got people popping in all over the place. Let me bring on my boy right here. Oh shoot, the Egghead himself.
Howdy ho.
What's up, dude?
Well, it took me a while to get to work, and everywhere else on base has really crappy service. So, just figured I'd swing in since I said I would about half an hour ago. At least say hi.
So, Egg, this is Cliff up here with you.
Hey, Cliff.
Cliff's a streamer here on Kick. Egg is the owner of the Colorado Wolverines that I was telling you about. You're muted, Cliff.
So,
Yes, I'm definitely muted. Thank you. So nice to meet you. My name's Cliff. Man, what a hero's journey from in the comments to team owner. Man, that's insane. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How that happened?
pretty wild, that man. I think I first started following BMAC. I like the Not the BMAC show and his jiu-jitsu 1 minute hacks. About 2019 ADCC, he did a multi-stream thing where they're doing commentary on the side, watching it, but it was always great listening to them, and that was phenomenal. And then COVID hit, and everyone was shut down. We had orders where we couldn't do training, but good old Alabama, Decatur did not have that problem, and so when the PGF came around, that was our method, that was our community. So on Friday nights, just hop in the chat and other like-minded people that love jiu-jitsu, got to see amazing matches and got to hear the story, because these guys every week were coming out, and you got to meet people, and it was wild. White belts you cared about, because you got to know them. And about 3 or 4 weeks in, because I love fantasy football, and Brandon had done fantasy with it. And I started realizing I was spending so much time writing down my, what I thought was going to happen so I could make my picks. And so I just did eggheadwarrior.com as a blog, and I started sharing my fantasy analysis. And then I jumped on Egghead Warrior. It's a little dated because since I've been an owner, I have not done my normal stuff. I'm going to look to get better at that and get back in. I still do podcasting. I was with the PGF Insiders, but I've been kind of doing my own thing for the last year. Nice. But anyways, so as Brandon said, season 2 came around, and that was kind of like their Ultimate Fighter season, where they filmed it all in 1 week and then would release 2 blocks every week. And so the finale was live for people. And so my wife, God bless her, gave me permission to drive from New Bern, North Carolina, out to Decatur, and actually let me train for a whole week beforehand. And I got to catch it there live, and man, it's so amazing seeing live. And then for season 3, I had to go back. That was going to be,
of course, you're hooked after season 2.
Yeah, and they figured out that was going to be really hard to bring in people from all over unless you condensed it into 1 week, and then people get a week off of work. So I got a week off of work, and I was gonna do some fantasy pre and post show stuff, and we did that. But 5 minutes before day 1 of PGF season 3, Brandon comes out, and Stephen Aiken, our announcer, he wasn't going to be then. He was going to be a commentator. And Brandon says, "Here's 2 microphones. You're our announcer now," because he had one for the in-house and one for the YouTube stream. And then he called me from the stands. "Egghead, get over here. You're commentator now."
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And it's just been so amazing since. Go ahead.
So you became a commentator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you went from, in the comments to a commentator on the for the events, and then how did that transition to team ownership? Shout out to Kevin Lucas and the Las Vegas Kings for being the first franchise in the PGF. They're a dynasty.
We kind of.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're good. But I was at the media event day when they did the signing, and so once you see something happen and somebody make it happen, it's a possibility. And so I've been talking to some guys, about possibly being a part of an ownership team. I kind of joked I was like, Agent Coulson for Brandon for a bit. Anybody that was interested in owning, I'd try to talk to them and see if we could hook up and do something. And and then the Twisters came on board. That was season 7, I believe. And then no, that was 8. I apologize. They were in for 8. And then Lauren came on board. She signed right at the end of 8. And so there was one team left of the original 4.
Yes.
And, you know, I knew that FOMO was starting to hit people, and that, you know, it was also getting close to season 9, and no one had actually pulled the trigger. And so I figured I might just have a chance to get a good deal, because it'd be weird if the PGF had one of the teams as their own and they had franchise owners. That'd be just kind of, you know, kind of almost a dynamic you guys were talking about earlier, where you have like kind of the masters, but you can't really do that. So I once again, like I begged the wife when I joined the Marine Corps, and when I begged her if I could go out to Decatur, Alabama for a week, I once again asked her very nicely if I could buy a franchise, and to her credit, she said yes. And so we did a thing. And you know, my son CJ was home for January term from college. He's about to graduate next week. And he just
congratulations.
Yeah, and it was amazing because he was home for a month, and we just worked on building everything out. And you know, I linked up with some amazing guys in Colorado. TJ Steinbach, who was a PGF season 4 vet. Donald Rose now is an amazing guy working for me. I've linked up. So I mean, again, I've really tried to make it Colorado first, and
of course,
just have had a great amount of support of people giving up their time and supporting us. So it was amazing. It was a bit.
So the main thing I'm getting from that is, it sounds like you wear the pants in the relationship with your wife. She just tells you which ones to wear.
I see. Okay. I was about to say, dude, you're about to get you're trying to get my man killed, dude. You're trying to get this man killed. Hey, listen, while I got us in a little transition here, and we do have a couple of questions for you actually in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll throw up in a second, but
absolutely,
I would like to introduce you guys to a very special person. I think it's going to be good for both of you guys to meet him. He's going to have this is going to turn into a good relationship and friendship for both of you, I think.
Okay.
And, you're going to really like this guy. I'll let him introduce himself, bringing him on right now. The man, the myth, dare I say, the legend, Logan Summit is here. Logan, oh my goodness.
Hey. There he is.
Wait.
All right, we gotta figure this. Well, okay.
There you go. Because we're about to have some fun. So turn that frown upside down. Let's talk about some grappling. By the way, sir, you look amazing in that uniform, and I love the faux hawk work that you got going on over there. I really like what you got going on, man. I appreciate it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Fantastic.
Doing good.
Happy,
hey,
healthy,
Logan,
and free.
Logan, move in tight. I think you're too far away from your mic. Let me hear that mic.
Yo, I'm right here.
Oh, that's way better. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll dial it in. I'll dial it in. You just get in tight.
So now we're on the phone bit, but I got this.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
We got you, baby. We got you.
All right.
Good.
Well, thanks for having me on, Brandon.
Man, of course. So tell the guys a little about yourself, about your background. I think the chat's going to feel like, oh, this is a fascinating guy. So tell us. I'll get this dialed up here. Don't worry.
I come from traditional media, man. I started in radio. Yeah, it's that thing with the little knob where you turn the dial, kids. Trust me, you'll figure it out. Google it. Yeah, back in the day when I was a teenager with just a little bit of gold and a pager, I did some radio, and I got into ESPN. Okay. They offered me to do live sports updates, and I became the funny guy. And so I started doing live sports updates, and I was given an opportunity to join the Jack Show with Jason Jackson, who you might know from doing the TV side of the hoop, a little bit of those Heat, the Miami Heat. Love the Heat, by the way. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And so I started there, and basically I was given an opportunity to be on air at ESPN, and thankfully we changed the way that people do sports talk today, and maybe even podcasting if you want to go that way as well. And I've just been doing sports and eSports media, broadcasting, everything in between. Heck, if you got a wedding, I'll host it for you. I mean, you know what? Just pay me to be
Nice.
there. I got the gig. All right.
Heck yeah.
Saying.
I
Look,
see
I've done
that.
everything from hosting events for political figures to hanging out with bands and putting bands on stage with D. Snyder and everything in between, man. I'm a writer. I'm a lover. I like long walks on the beach holding hands and strawberries with chocolate. I'm just saying.
Ooh, those are all the things that I like in love. It sounds like we're going to be best friends. Thank you, B-Mac. I appreciate that.
Well, so and now Cliff, introduce yourself to Logan here.
So, like I was saying before, for those of you who don't know, my name is Cliff, but I go by Mr. MRxChiCity, Shy for short. I've been doing content for a long time, but I officially started streaming on Facebook back in 2021. They were really all in on their gamer side of their content that they wanted to push. And so I started playing NBA 2K was my game. So I'm a big sports gamer. I'm into sports in general, but I've also always been into games and technology. So to be able to combine those two was the perfect fit. As a kid, I was always like, man, how do I get paid to play video games? You know, long story short, this type of career path was able to help me do that. So cut to 2023, we came to Kick. And Kick showed way more love than Facebook ever did, you know, and now you look at Facebook, their gaming section is just, they don't even do a partner program anymore. Kick came through and they showed so much love right out of the gate. We were selected for Kick Picks week 39 in August of 2024. And they came to the stream and Kick staff was in there and they put us on the front page and they gifted us 100 subscriptions, which $500 in one fell swoop was amazing for me at the time. And so fast forward, we had to take a little bit of a break in 2025, but we came back this year in January and we just had so much success being the #1 streamer in so many different categories that we finally got even more recognition after taking our break. We got verified and got the check mark. Yeah, we got partnered 3 weeks ago on Saturday. And my 5-year streamerversary is this coming weekend. And I'm just so excited to get community games in. I just got a new PC. I just got my new monitor back here today. And it's just up. I call myself in my community the C-Fam, and it's just getting better and better. Thankfully, I was able to get in touch with B-Mac here through one of the CEOs or co-founders for Kick, Andrew Santa Maria.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew. Great guy, by the way. Great guy.
Yes.
Love Andrew.
Yes, he and Eddie, you know, they had posted on X that they were looking for any level of creator to share out PGF World content and get their communities involved. And my community jumped at the opportunity just like I did. And, you know, long story short, now I'm going to be in Vegas for season 10 PGFX. I'm streaming it, hopefully at the HyperX Arena in the Luxor. And that's just incredible to think.
We'll see if the HyperX thing goes down. We actually took a look at a few other venues while we were there in Vegas this weekend. Ooh. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't want to lock.
I don't want to announce anything. Yeah.
I don't want to lock anything down.
Well, the HyperX Arena just got 3 promos.
NBA 2K real quick. You did know that I did play-by-play for the first ever, after 25 years, women's NBA 2K league.
That's insane.
Yeah, it took 25 years to get there, brother.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the ladies now, especially now with their collective bargaining agreement. They're able to actually get paid a bigger piece of the pie of the revenue that they generate.
Yeah, and I got love for the white and orange leather as well as just the standard orange leather. I mean, it goes all around. And look, I come from Yukon country, baby. We've got love for Gino and the women because they have been so dominant. And one of the crazy things that they always talk about with Gino Ariema is like, man, he has helped raise up so many women and helped them become better people, better players, better overall just members of the community. Well, think about how many people he's crushed along the way. You know, we don't talk about the girls from Tennessee, right? We don't talk about that summit getting demolished all the time and all those girls going back and being like, why did he have to beat me again? We don't talk about that. We just
the torch had to be passed. Yeah. But that's really cool. You know, that's cool that, I mean, the world is so big and small at the same time. You know, I've been on 2K TV a couple of times now, you know, and I was actually I just signed an NDA yesterday, and they want us to get involved with the upcoming game. You know, so I've been talking to the guy that hosts 2K TV. Shout out to LD2K. And you know, there's a possibility we could be working on towards getting a 2K logo over our player's head in the game when 2K27 comes, in addition to an invite to Community Day, where I'll be able to rub elbows with some of the content creators who I've followed for a decade now, you know? So it's just interesting to see how, you know, not just video games, but also sports and all kinds of things that you're interested in. You find like-minded people, you can talk forever when it comes to things that you're interested in, you know. So like I said, shout out to BMAC for bringing you on. I'm not sure what happened to Egghead, but he
had to
seems really
dip.
cool
He
too.
had to dip. Yeah, man, I would love to get Egghead back in here. And
Absolutely.
The cool thing about doing kind of just the live stream instead of a show, and you know, Logan and I have both had a lot of broadcast experience with like shows. We're on TV doing shows.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But you know, you gotta like set up your guest, and you gotta get your segments and hit your post. The cool thing about live streaming and just not having a format is like we can have anybody can pop in anytime, you
Yep.
know? And so to me, it's a way like looser environment to actually talk to somebody, engage with people, like if people have questions and stuff. So yeah, I say all that to say, I want to have, hey, Logan, me and Logan need to talk about some stuff. Dude, just jump on the live stream and let's hang out and let's just brainstorm together, you know. And if we were like doing a live show, we couldn't just sit and talk and daydream together. You know what I mean?
Right. And
Like
you wouldn't necessarily be able to take comments.
Out. You got to know where you're going from place A to place B and how we're going to get to D. Oh, and by the way, plug those sponsors, sir.
Right.
This kind of format gives you that freedom where you can just talk to everyone out there and talk about whatever you like. I mean, you know, it's up to you to bring the content, so to speak, to the whole ball game, and you can do whatever you want. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I had my own stage show at the Luxor where I interviewed athletes and celebrities, and it was amazing. But right now, I don't have anybody talking in my ear, which I'm just saying. Sometimes that gets a little laborious for the kids when somebody's like, "Oh, you got to."
People don't realize.
I'm like, all right, let me make my point.
Dude, right. I think people probably don't realize like how difficult that makes the job. You know, like my job is to be able to talk on the fly about what I'm seeing happening in real time. I'm breaking down, like I'm doing technical analysis on a complex art in real time. And make it sound interesting. You're in my ear, and there's some kind of problem. I've also got your communication with the other play-by-play guy because some wiring went funny, and so you're trying to fix it. Hold on, dude. People don't realize
be a
how hard that
multitasker.
Part of it is. I know it sounds simple, and I guess it is simple. It's not like it's
to a certain extent.
But the first couple of times you experience it, it's. Like I remember the first time I did the UFC broadcast, the UFC BJJ, or at that time it was called the Fight Pass Invitational, but what you see is UFC BJJ now, that's rebranded. So anyway, I was doing, I think UFC Fight Pass Invitational 2 was the first time that I had worked for them. And that was the first time I had like in-ear communication from the truck. And dude, it was so jarring. And I was under high stress anyway, because you know, like the first couple of times you get a shot at something like that, you're like, in your head, you're like, oh my God, this is your chance, Brandon.
Yep.
If you blow this.
Yeah, you put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yes, dude. And I'm like, I mean, we're getting to know each other, but I'm sure you could see right away, I like to win, dog. I like to win. You know what I mean?
Don't we
all? So which means I put a tremendous amount of undue pressure on myself in situations. I think I'm a high performer under high stress like that. And so maybe it's just evolution doing it to me, like putting that kind of pressure on myself so I do perform well, perhaps. Whatever it is, though, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I put a lot
I
of
feel that.
expectations. And so when I
Look,
feel
I
like
spoke at
this is the one, I
UNLV.
got to nail this one. Whew, that was stressful, dude.
I spoke at UNLV the other day at the School of Communications, and one of the kids, they asked, what's the biggest piece of advice that you could give somebody who wants to get into broadcasting? And I was like, all right, it's very simple. It's something that Stuart Scott told me, rest in peace. Very simple, 2 rules: come prepared and show up early. Those are the 2 biggest things that if anybody who wants to be in broadcasting in any form, look, show up prepared and show up early. You will crush it. 80% of the job is that. I have never done a broadcast where I went, wow, man, I really over prepared for that one. It's always, thank gosh, I prepared for that one. I mean, I've casted over 50 different video games. And
Wow.
like Joe Buck has never played a sport in his entire life. He gets paid like millions of dollars to talk about it.
Just to
when
talk,
I first
yeah.
got into eSports, people would be like, yo, what game do you play? And I'm like, bro, not about the game. It's about bringing enthusiasm, energy, and integrity to broadcasting. That's what you got to do. Support the person next to you. Just do that, and you've got the job. And you will keep the job if you show up early and you come prepared. That's it, man. It's that simple.
Man, and that's every job, but to come to like to be in an arena where you want to stand out, I think that's just such a simple thing. You would think that's common sense that people would know. Bring that energy, bring that enthusiasm, let people feel your personality through them, because not everyone is watching. A lot of people are just listening. Anybody can talk. But how do you, number one, entertain, and number 2, retain viewership? And I can relate a lot to that from my live streaming. Anyone can turn on a camera, but how do you engage, entertain, and retain? You gotta let and like the other guy that was saying that left a comment about it being more grassroots. I agree. It's more authentic on the fly like this. It is better for brands because they can feel you being genuine. And I think the best creators out there are able to create that connection, whether it's through the camera or through the microphone, to get people to be like, wow, you know what? That guy's kind of cool. Is he doing another show next week? I'm going to be back next week. Or you know what? Logan was so good on that game. What other games does he do? And then you have the power yourself to get to develop your own following that will help. And then when those brands notice that you have that, they're going to want you to keep coming on. Okay, we got this next idea for you. We got this next game for you. I've always told my lady in my community, how cool is it to be an athlete and earn money playing a game? But it seems much more powerful to me to be able to use your voice. Then I don't have to go to the gym. I can use my voice to generate revenue and build connections and foster a community. And that's what you're seeing now here. And so what is Dame saying? He says he knows Logan.
Oh, let me see.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Maintain your Dame.
He's another kick streamer, CFAM guy. Yeah, he says he knows. I don't know his real name. Maybe I don't know if he's still in here. Maybe let us know how you know Logan, so he'll know who you are. I call him Dame, but I'm not sure. I don't know what. But that's another cool guy that comes through that I'm trying to help inspire and lift up, like we were talking about before. BMAC, it's one thing to pursue the money and the fame and things like that, but it's another thing to cast those things to the side and do it for the greater good, which is becoming an inspiration and lifting
the money
people
and
up.
The fame come along with working hard and getting it done, right? Like if your goal is money and fame, that's not a good goal. You have to reconfigure that thought process, and you need to get in there and do it for another reason. You got to find something that you enjoy doing every single day. You want to wake up and do that, because if that's, I know everybody says, if you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life, kind of thing. But no, for real, sports and esports are synonymous with each other and will be. Look, in 2030, the esports industry will be worth $30 billion. Okay. So if you want to get into broadcasting somewhere in front of the camera, behind the camera, whatever it is, look, just if you're watching a sporting event, find something that interests you in those descriptions of what they do for a living and go pursue it. There's only a few jobs in front of the camera, but there's so many jobs behind the camera, and sports isn't going anywhere. F1 is picking up. Look, I got laughed out of a room 20 years ago at ESPN because I said that mixed martial arts will be the biggest sport in the world. And John Butchergross during the pandemic, hashtag UFC was the number one tag on Twitter, right? And John Butchergross wrote, "I was in a room
with a guy."
Logan Summit said this a long time ago, but it has come to fruition. And grassroots stuff, like getting back to the heart of the sport and grappling. Look, I started watching Pancrase when I was in high school. Boz Rutan, shout out right there, brother. Ken Shamrock, Boz Rutan, and Pancrase, Kings of Pancrase. If you've never seen those clips, please go out and watch them. If you've never seen Pride Fight Championships, please go out and watch them. There are so many other great athletes that have come through the sport and graced our lives with all sorts of different techniques that have gotten us to this point that people are now enjoying the ground game. Back in the day, they'd be like, stand them up, stand them up. No, this is a chess match, okay?
Yes.
This is not anything else but a chess match. And until you understand it, then you can truly begin to enjoy it as a fan. And also get the kids off the streets and put them in the gym. Just saying.
It's funny that you bring that up too about it being a chess match, because that was one of the things that drew me into what BMAC did with the PGF world, and just like being able to, we've talked about it so many times now, but it's so relevant. Like, I have always been into combat sports, but I always felt like jiu-jitsu in particular was just a little bit boring, and really because I didn't know much about it. But this format that BMAC and the PGF have created has made it so much more entertaining and accessible than what it would be for the average guy such as myself, that always been adjacent to combat sports, being an athlete myself, but never fully understood. It's kind of like watching baseball. A lot of people don't like baseball because they don't understand the chess match that goes between a pitcher and a batter. So I'll probably set up BMAC here with this, just in tying what you said before about like having so many things going on and being able to commentate a live match. That takes a level of not just like obviously professionalism, but experience too, to be able to paint that picture as that color commentator live in the moment, to where you're not only just describing what's going on the mat, but you're making it entertaining and accessible for someone who may not, they might enjoy sports and fighting, but they might not, like, I don't know what this guy's trying to do in this moment, and so for you to explain not just what's happening in front of you, but also the strategy, that is what really drew me into the PGF. So maybe BMAC, you can talk a little bit about where your inspiration comes from in terms of not just staying stagnant, but being able to be that driving force for the sport of jiu-jitsu as a whole.
Well, I think probably the most important and most overlooked perhaps aspect of at least my part of the broadcast, which I do color commentary, right? Like Logan and I, if we were on the same broadcast, we would have opposite jobs.
Yes.
So like imagine if we were gonna commentate you playing 2K, he would be John Anik and I would be Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Got it.
Right. But actually, probably in the case of us doing video games, we would probably flip roles because he knows how to do the analysis on the game. I would probably just hit the post. So we would actually probably flip roles in that scenario. But if we were doing
to make that happen
together, he would be John Anik and I would be Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Or he would be Marv Albert, and I would be Mike Fratello.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I did a Madden tournament with Amon Green. He'll be in the Hall of Fame in the next couple of years, by the way. One of my good friends. We did a Madden tournament a couple of weeks ago, and we had another ex-NFL player with us that I had never worked with. Amon and I have worked together probably like 15 times. So we got it down, right?
You got the chemistry.
But I had never worked with the other guy. And he's like, yo, what are you going to do? And I'm like, bro, Joe Buck, John Madden, that's where I'm at, bro. I'm going to bring you in and out of everything. I'm going to set you up with questions and make you shine, because no one really cares what I have to say. They care what you have to say. And the broadcast partner next to you that's doing that color commentary, that's throwing down that knowledge, man, you're just there to support them, bro. You're just a crutch so that they don't have to talk for the full 4 hours or whatever the broadcast is going to be.
Yes.
Because intrinsically, they're going to tell you the difference between a Kimura and Americana and get you involved in that and give you that knowledge, drop that boom on you. So you got it, right? I'm just there to help you get in and out of breaks, bro.
That's
yeah,
really cool.
my broadcast partner, TJ DeSantis, who we'll bring him on. You'll definitely meet him. Cliff. I owe TJ a lot. He is really he's the best that I've ever worked with. He's the most professional, understands the craft and the art of it better than anybody. Yeah. But what he says about it is that he's the tour bus driver, but I'm the guy on the mic making the jokes, telling you who built this building, who designed this, and the history of the city and all of that. He said, of course. But I don't get to drive the bus. I get the mic and everybody goes, and when they put the tip in the bucket, they're like, "Oh, thank you," and I go, "But thank you." You know? So I'm the corny tour guide for this jiu-jitsu match. But what I was going to say earlier, I think the part that's the most overlooked, at least for the color commentary role, is context. Being able to set context, not just in like, okay, what's the difference between an Americana and a Kimura? Anybody that is good at jiu-jitsu can do that part, right? That part's easy. Why are we talking about, why are we in a situation now where there is an Americana or a Kimura? What might he be thinking? Where might he be going next? The context of the movement, the context of the match itself as well, but then the context of the moment, which is bigger than the match. What does this mean to Jet Thompson right now?
Right.
We're in the finals. Yes, it's Kevin versus Jet. It's Kevin Buehring versus Jet. But why? What is the context of this moment? Why is this important? And why might that be informing his decision-making right now? Like, oh, he looks tight. He looks like he's not moving as quick. He looks a little hesitant. Why might he be hesitant? Because there's a lot on the line and he's never been here before. I think that those are the kind of things that are actually missing from a lot of the jiu-jitsu play-by-play color commentary that I see.
It looks like Jay, what's his name? I don't want to mispronounce it. Jay Chiat. He talked about the storytelling. Yeah. Watching guys have a sense of urgency and then get thrown, strangled, or broken is universally interesting. Violence is in our DNA. Pure jiu-jitsu is a harder sell to the non-practicing viewer. Once you fall for jiu-jitsu, you'll watch the no time. I see it. Once you fall for jiu-jitsu, you'll watch the no time limit matches. But just like IRL, falling in love takes time and doesn't happen for everyone. Luckily for me, then that's why we even started going down this path, was that, BMAC and TJ were so skilled at the commentary that I was just naturally drawn in, and I just became hooked quickly. I already had the foundation of being, a sports enjoyer, but these guys just lowered that barrier to entry and made it like something that I maybe didn't truly understand, made it something much more accessible, not just for me, but for a whole nother community of people who maybe they were interested before, but they just kind of didn't get that chess match side of it and the storytelling part of it. Like, why should we care about these guys? Now I'm sitting there like, man, I can't wait to meet these guys And I learned their names so quick. And I think that's a testament to, you know, BMAC and TJ's ability to draw us in and create that context and create those moments where we're like, wow, we understand why these guys are doing, what their motivation is and what the stakes are and what the storylines are, not just for the teams, but also the individual fighters.
And
You
I
know
think
what I
that
mean?
Logan,
The storytelling side of it is I learned that at 19 years old as a Templeton Peck, a wrestling manager in ECW. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Look, Eric Bischoff was on TV and I was in college and somebody pointed at Eric Bischoff and said, you can go do that. And I said, yes, I can go do that. And I will go do that. And I went out and I learned how to protect myself and all that stuff. And I got into wrestling. I made Pro Illustrated's top 500 one year. But I learned that
So
storytelling
cool.
aspect through just watching independent all the way up to ECW. I did do a couple WCW matches and a couple dark matches for WWE, but was never really
That's so
in that
cool.
world. But just watching how you tell those stories. Yes, I know everybody, it's wrestling. Okay. First of all, everything hurts. Let me hit you on the back with a steel chain and you tell me that doesn't sting. Okay. Because it does.
There's no way to fake that.
No way to fake that, okay? It is predetermined, but everything hurts. And now it's a lot more athletes and actors.
Sure.
When I started, it was a lot of scary men. For a 19-year-old to be in the back room, I was like, yes, sir. Okay.
Dude, here's what I need to know before you continue. I have a very important question.
Yeah.
Did you have that mustache when you were 19 years old?
No.
Oh, my. Okay. Keep
Now,
going.
this takes years of work and effort and love.
Yes.
Back when I was a teenager, I couldn't have all this awesomeness. I did have a goatee, and for a while, I had a flavor saver here.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
I might have
Flavor
worn
saver.
stocks at one point in my life. I'm just saying.
Nice.
So, Logan,
That's so cool.
tell Cliff a little bit about how you found out about the PGF. Like, what was your connection to it? Because you're not a jiu-jitsu guy either, right? I know you've been into combat sports for a long time, but I think that story would be interesting.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So I've loved combat sports since I was wrestling in high school. Okay, 125. They would always bump me up because I always shot first. Always shoot first, kids.
Always.
Let's
It'll work
go.
out for you. Grab
Yes.
a leg, suck it in, and roll with it. Okay. So,
Let's go.
and my parents were the cool parents on the street, right? If there were pay-per-views, because I dabbled in a little taekwondo and traditional martial arts, little karate and all that stuff. But my parents were the cool people where they were like, yo, we see this as a sport. And even though my mom didn't necessarily like it or understand it, she understood my love for it didn't come from a place of violence, because that's not what I'm watching. What I'm watching is two men test their wills. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not watching violence. I'm watching a test of wills. And they understood that. So I had all the pay-per-views. I watched UFC 1, 2, 3, all the way up until 10 at my house. I mean, you could come over and just check them out. No weight classes, by the way, back in the day.
Too good.
And some
Holy
of those were
moly.
the most interesting fights ever.
Yeah. Yes.
Just because they're absolutely insane. And shout out to Tank Abbott for almost beating me up in an interview for calling him out for not knowing anything. I once told Tank Abbott, who are the 3 people you submitted? Because I want to talk to them. Because they're obviously terrible. He didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. That's like Kimball Slice getting a submission. Shouldn't happen on any given day.
No, not at all. Not from his
I
technique.
can't argue.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, look, I've been following it for years and years and years, and always had a love for combat sports on all different multiple levels. And when I got to Vegas, one of the things I really wanted to get into commentating was MMA in some form or fashion, right? Well, I got an opportunity with USA Boxing, and I'm like, yeah, let's go do boxing. My first broadcast, I did 4 hours in the booth by myself because my color commentary dude didn't show up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if
So
that's
talk
not
about getting thrown into the deep
get in
end.
there and do it. I don't know what is. And in USA boxing, you have to have a 20-minute intermission. It's part of the rules. And I'm in the talent bathroom or whatever, and one of the judges, old dude, like looks like Howard Cosell looking at me, right? Like just looking at me. And he goes, I haven't seen anybody commentate boxing by themselves since the 50s, kid. And I'm like, all right. And he goes, you're doing a good job. And I was like, all right, cool, man.
There you
All
go.
right, cool.
That's awesome.
And so that's how I got into it. Now, as far as Professional Grappling Federation, that is all our good friend Overt Flow. One of my best friends, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Gracie, not too shabby, right? And he was like, yo, you have to see this. I know how much you love MMA and BJJ, and you got to check this out. Because at this point, I was doing interviews on Millions.co, which is Bruce Buffer's platform. And he's like, PJ was like, dude, wait till you see this stuff. And the class that the Federation has, man, is the moment you walk in that room, you realize that you've just turned that dial to 11, as they say in Spinal Tap, because that's exactly how high it goes. It looks great. It is beautiful. The teams are there cheering each other on. The audience is right up on it. I mean, I've never been closer to a fight than when I was on a street corner. Like, you don't get any closer. That's just, it's right there. And the technique, and it's just amazing. And you're watching people throughout the season get better and find their story, because it's not our story, it's their story, and it's their job to help us tell it. And they're doing that. And it's just absolutely amazing. If you haven't been to a fight with a bunch of chandeliers, you've never been to a fight.
Man, and the couch is right there where they got to have the refs jump in and save you before they knock over the lamps and the drinks and everything, man.
Yeah, even if you're like, you look at that atmosphere and you're like, okay, that's corny. Why are they doing? Even if that's what you think, like,
I love that.
there's no question about when you see it, what promotion it is. It doesn't look or
That's right.
feel like anything else. And so, at least from the branding perspective, even if you think you hate it, you know what it is.
For
You
sure.
know?
You recognize it right out of the gate on any clips.
This
or
guy
anything.
in the comments here, JC Hyatt, he's one of the owners of the Alabama Twisters. So they got the ownership group, but
okay,
he's one of the owners of this team right here.
Got it.
We'll get him on at some point to hang out and talk with us. He's an engineer, a coder by nature.
Oh, that's cool.
And a very smart guy. Very
smart.
Yeah,
definitely get him on there. Get TJ on here. We got to get Rafa Esparza on here too.
Yeah, we'll get Raf, Tim, like any of the athletes, coaches.
Definitely want to talk to Kevin Buehring.
Whoever you guys want to talk to. We'll
get Kevin Buehring on here. And you know who else? I want to talk to Mr. Weidman. Want to talk with him too.
Lloyd from the Outlaws.
Yes. I think he'd drop some wisdom on us if he were to get on here.
Dude,
I think that's really cool.
So that's fascinating. Dude, I've heard a lot of people, like Lloyd hasn't even really been like out on the camera much yet. His team hasn't even had a game yet, but people like Lloyd. He's
cool, man.
Yeah.
You can just tell he's a
I've heard that
man.
several times from people that it just surprises me.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, you're right. He's a very smart guy, and he doesn't come from the jiu-jitsu world.
That's right. That's the perfect person.
A very unique perspective. He comes from the sports world. He comes from NASCAR. So he was selling, he worked for NASCAR, like selling sponsorships forever. And so he comes from that world. So he's been in the sports world. He's been in the sports industry, but he's new to jiu-jitsu. And so he has this very interesting perspective, and he's very smart and very experienced.
Perfect guy to pick his brain.
You're picking up on something that I think is correct. Go ahead, Logan.
Now, I normally don't do this, but I got to do this, man, because as the Professionally Grappling Federation grows, I see fighters out there that I have seen grow on their own exponentially And there's one fighter, man, I talked to Zoltan about this the other day. I never do this, but Hunter Lee from Canada needs to get an invite from one of these teams. He needs to get drafted. However it needs to happen. I need to see Hunter Lee from Canada come on down to the United States and be part of the Professional Grappling Federation, because this guy is on the up and up. He competed in wrestling in Paris for the Canadian team. He wasn't necessarily on the mat. He was an alternate, but he has ripped through people. Only has one loss on his MMA side. He's now got a belt from some league in like Saskatoon or something up there. But this guy is a fierce grappling person who I think could come into the league. And the personality that this dude has, oh my gosh. That's what I want to see more of next season. I want to see more of these personalities coming out, people feeling themselves, getting comfortable with everything that they're up to in this world as they grow as fighters and as people as well. That's the biggest thing about BJJ and MMA and all of these great combat sports, is they make you better people, because you got to get into a gym. You have to join a community. And now you've got people around you that care about you, that are giving you advice and raising you up and helping you become a better person. That's what this is all about. Look, not everybody's going to be the next great thing in BJJ, but you can get in there and become a better person.
Is this the guy you're talking about here? Hunter Lee?
Yeah.
Is this him? So
that's him.
He's doing MMA mostly.
There's
a jiu-jitsu. There's an actual jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What if he gets leg locked right here, dude? Are you gonna take
that
back
would be tragic for me.
Is this him with no shirt here? Yes, that's Hunter Lee. This is the same guy?
This is him.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Hopefully something good.
He's getting put into a leg lock early.
Yeah, you called it. Have you seen this?
No, it's just I know what happens when MMA guys try to do jiu-jitsu.
Well, that's everything's a learning curve. But he did do wrestling in the Olympics, so he's got that background. He does do some BJJ.
Yeah, I mean, if he's entering ADCCs, he knows he's training straight grappling somewhere for sure.
Yeah, it's literally Saskatoon. I know it sounded
he's
like
in trouble.
Joke, but
I was gonna say, tell us what's happening here, B-Mac.
He's in trouble, dude. So the guy in the black has his legs laced up in a position we call the honey hole, and he's about to heel hook him with this cross ashi right here. Watch, he's gonna slide. Oh, he's gonna knee bar him. Oh, he knee barred him instead. Dude, man, that is pretty normal. That is pretty normal. when it is, man, when an MMA guy enters into jiu-jitsu competition and he doesn't specialize, there's just a couple of holes that he's always going to have. Always. And and in the PGF, being a good there's no way to win on points in the PGF, right? And
true.
So there's a lot of tournaments that you could go and win. Like you could go and win ADCC or the IBJJF World Championships. You could be the ADCC World Champion and not submit anybody because you can win on points through positioning and takedowns and stuff like that. But in the PGF, there's no way to win except by submission. And so a lot of the guys that come from an MMA background, they aren't as they're incredible with their takedowns and they're hard to hold down and they feel impossible to control, but they don't put people out. They control them or they're hard to control.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when they find themselves in a situation where people specialize in entering to your limbs specifically instead of just controlling the body, they attack the limbs, especially the legs. They start to you can get out of your depth real fast, no matter how good of a grappler you are. If you get somebody that understands the leg lock game and you're just a really good grappler, but you don't really dabble and leg locks as much, or you think you do, but you haven't been tested, you're
Well,
gonna
just
get
think about what Frank
scored
Mir
on.
did to Brock Lesnar.
That's a good
Heel hook.
example.
Heel
That's
hook him.
that's a perfect example. It was a knee bar. It was actually the same move your boy just got caught with, looking for a heel hook, but ended up making a knee bar out of it. Perfect example. Perfect example. People think leg locks don't work in MMA. There's that narrative that leg locks don't work in MMA, which I could go into why I think that's a false narrative. I thought Cody Steele had one of the most high level modern jiu-jitsu leg lock entries you could have hit. And he did it in in the UFC, like 2 weeks ago, Cody Steele. Anyway, so yeah, Gary Tonin would like a word. Exactly. So sorry, I'm dorking out on jiu-jitsu stuff, but
You're good.
I'm a jiu-jitsu dork. I'll go off the rails super fast when we start talking about jiu-jitsu stuff.
I'm just trying to figure out really quick so when we watched that YouTube video, how old was that? Like, is that this year?
That was
a year old. So you never know. Maybe the guy is.
Oh,
I mean,
now
he should.
he's doing some things.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
it doesn't take long to catch up if you're already a good grappler.
Yeah, so maybe he needs to come to Colorado or go to. I'm not sure where I assume they're doing the qualifiers in Colorado for the Wolverines, but maybe he needs to just show up or get. I don't know if it's invitation only or whatever it is, but I mean, if the guy is 6-1 in his professional MMA record. And he's a young guy. He's only 25 years old, 26 years old.
Plenty of time.
These guys need to get these opportunities to truly, if you're an MMA guy and you add jiu-jitsu to your arsenal like that and you become a better grappler, I mean, that can only help him.
We should take a look at maybe some of his other stuff too, because that couldn't have possibly been a fair assessment.
Especially if it's a year old.
Yeah.
Give the guy a chance.
You can give him some grace here. Let me go. Fine.
Let Logan have his recommendation shine for us. You know what I mean?
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at his MMA match. That's from 3 years ago. That's not what we want.
While you'd look for that, I'm actually.
How did you come across this dude?
He just won a belt, a middleweight belt. Find that guy. I'm sure he crushed it.
Let me see.
He's also a great guy. Part of the reason that I'm a big proponent of him is just his mentality and his personality as well. Like,
that makes a huge difference.
Guy into a gym, he's going to help raise everybody up around him. You just get that feeling from him.
That's a huge part of being a professional that I think that a lot of these athletes don't realize. Like, it's one thing to be good at your skill set. It's another thing to be good at jiu-jitsu is one skill, right? Being a good competitor is a separate skill set. They're not necessarily related. They're not. It's not direct correlation. Being good doesn't make you a good competitor, and being a good competitor doesn't make you good. But being a professional who understands how to make money in your industry is a totally separate skill set than those two. And to be a pro, you have to have all three.
Yeah, and also just skill sets in fighting. These days, you can't just be good at one thing. Ask Ben Askren. Look, you can't just be good at one thing. You need to be well-rounded. And for years, how many fights have we seen in MMA get finished because of leg kicks these days? For years, Joe Rogan would sit there on the sidelines being like, bro, why aren't you kicking that big dude in the leg? You should totally be kicking that big dude in the leg. And now it's like, it's just something that's intrinsic to the sport now. And also with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I mean, you can't get into it in a cage, a ring, or whatever it is without a well-rounded skill set. And for the love of God, please use the jab to set everything else up while I'm on my soapbox over here.
Yes. The jab sets it all up. Okay, what do we got here?
Well, I'm trying to. Is this our guy here?
That does look to be Hunter Lee.
Okay, word. Well, this is an MMA fight here.
Yeah, those are his shorts, definitely. He likes the leopard print.
Nice. We got any audio for this?
He might do a cartwheel here.
I mean, we got some audio. I'm not going to play it, though.
Okay.
We'll enjoy over the top here.
Yeah.
Oh, he comes out slanging that big overhand early. I mean, he's definitely a grappler. He just throwing the overhand
Right
and
in
getting
the
to the
honey
double
hole.
leg immediately. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He's all
Trying
over
to take
him.
that back.
Dude, he's cut too.
Oh yeah.
His muscles had muscles
Hey.
from that angle. Wow. Look how strong he is.
Don't grab that cage, sir.
No, you can tell. Hey, you can tell he's a good wrestler just by the way he connects with his hips.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way he sticks to them. You can tell he's a strong
Kira
wrestler.
taught us hips don't lie.
That is facts. Okay, so tell us what's going on here, B-Mac. He's got him in rear.
He wants that second hook on his right leg. He wants to hook that in around his back, but because they're over against the cage, he's not able to turn that corner effectively. So he wants to get his hips away from the cage a little bit so he can slide into that position, or he'll stay back and ride him at the hips.
Okay.
But he's doing a lot in terms of control. But this other guy's not really giving him a lot of like stand-up effort either.
So this is kind of looks like a situation where maybe you'd put the shot clock on the guy.
No. I would let him work. No, I'd let him work right here for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, you can't give a shot clock in MMA. That's what punches are for. The punches are the shot clock. If you're just going to stand there, I'm going to sit there wait, I'm going to punch you.
And I mean, the guy, Hunter's in control anyway, so it's not like.
Oh, yeah, he's totally in control. He's totally in control. He's dominating.
Yeah.
At no point has he even been in danger of not being in control. And literally, that's that. Did that dude just tap like that?
Did he?
No. What happened? What
happened
was Hunter threw an illegal elbow. It landed on the back of the head. And then the guy looked up to say, "Dude, are you going to let him do that?" And Hunter put the choke in, and he was telling him to stop because he threw the illegal elbow. So he took the position away from him.
Got it. I see.
Sorry, it's about this big on my little screen.
Oh yeah. I guess you're watching on your phone.
Yeah, he is on his phone. That's right.
Next time I do this, I'll be in a setup.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Well, like I told you yesterday, we're not going to do a. Don't worry about a pro setup. I just wanted to talk to you and hang and like shoot some ideas. Cause what I'm thinking about, and this is nice. Anyway, I'll drop this off the screen. What I'm thinking about is I want to get some, hold on one second, guys. There we go. I want to get some like PGF coverage from people who aren't jiu-jitsu heads. And I was thinking about how to try to put something like this together, or even if it's like, just an idea that somebody else takes and runs with. You know what I mean? Because there's plenty of jiu-jitsu podcasts and stuff like that that'll talk about it. But all of them, because the PGF is so unique in its format and its style, it doesn't look like anything else jiu-jitsu. So anytime like a jiu-jitsu podcast grabs it to talk about it, they talk about it through the filter of jiu-jitsu first. But I would love a show of some sort where we talk about it through sports and content as the first filter. And then jiu-jitsu just happens to be the context that the sports and the content are coming through. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I knew that if I brought that up to you, Logan, that you would have like smart ideas. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted to have that conversation with you.
I mean, he's really the perfect guy to ask about it because, I actually have some stuff over here. Like, one of the questions for Logan would be, what kind of like surprised you the most moving from like combat sports into esports? Because you take that filter from, that lens of combat sports commentary into like guys are fighting, but this is video game stuff. Yeah. So from going from combat sports into esports, what was the most surprising thing for you in that transition?
I got to be honest with you. Working at ESPN really helped me with all of this because it puts it into a different perspective. Okay. Every year after Bob Goldberg passed away, not the Goldberg from wrestling, Bob Goldberg, he was really, really great at horse racing. He knew those ponies, man. He could take a look at horses and tell you what they had for breakfast, okay? When he passed away, it became Kenny Mayne and my job to take over a little bit of that. Okay, so whether it was Saratoga or whatever it was, look, we don't know anything about horse racing except for big hats and drinks, right?
And mint
like
juleps.
that's all we know about.
Yeah.
You got to figure that out, right? So you go into a room, you split a stack of paper about this big between you, and you hit it with the highlighters. And just like when you were in college, you get all that information, and then you regurgitate it out there, and hopefully you forget some of it as well. So I kind of took that mentality to combat sports and esports and everything that I've been involved in. Even, I've hosted the U.S. Navy Blue Angels before. So it's taking that mentality and going with it. It doesn't matter.
Like the Jets and stuff.
Yeah, the Jets and stuff.
Yeah.
Rad, by the way. They are, wow. If you've never been to the Blue Angel show, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
But it's just like anything else. You got to put your all in. You got to do the research, right? And then you got to show up prepared. So the biggest thing for me was, to be honest with you, is how many fights these promoters try to put on one card. The first time I got there was 24 fights on the card. I'm like, bro, we're gonna be here forever
till 6 a.m. Yeah.
Like they cut it down to about 14 or something like that. But actually, that was the biggest thing when I got into combat sports, was how much everybody was trying to put into one little package, and it was like, yo, everybody, time out here. Let it breathe a little bit, right? Now, as far
do you know
as
why that
esports,
is? Do you know why that is, though? Do you know why they pack so many into a card? Because it sells more tickets.
Yeah.
Like say
like
you're doing
more
a
fighters.
say you're doing a little regional show in Ohio or wherever. I'm in Sandusky, Ohio, and I'm the local MMA promoter. The more fights I have on the card, the more friends and family are going to buy tickets.
Yeah,
and so in a small sport, it makes a huge difference to those, a small sport and then a small version of the sport, like say some startup or a regional show or whatever. Things like that make a huge difference. And so you'll see that on jiu-jitsu cards all the time. The more athletes are on there, the more tickets and more eyeballs it's going to get. So anyway, that's the whole point of a boxing undercard.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I get it.
But you're totally right.
Obviously, got to sell tickets, right? That's how it's supporting the families and all that. But then getting into esports, really, my biggest thing that shocked me about esports was how concerned everybody was in esports about, well, what games do you play? What games do you cast? Oh, you can only cast one, apparently. What are you
weird?
talking
That's
about?
A weird thing about the video game industry that I noticed.
It is. It's really weird. And I was like, no, I'm not going to have that mentality. And I've casted over 50 different titles. Most of those games I've never played. But that being said, is most of those games I've watched 9 hours of tape and taken notes on and casted into YouTube videos with the mute button on before I've gone to the cast. Why? Because I got to show up prepared.
You got to prepare.
And so really, I don't think there's that big of a difference between traditional sports, combat sports, and esports as far as a broadcasting perspective is concerned, unless you're doing true color commentary and you're there to be the Tom Brady or the Mac. Look, that's a different skill set. But from where I sit, I have to come prepared to talk technology happens, because let's be honest, especially in esports, that's the craziest thing about the whole thing is the amount of time that you have to carry because somebody went into the wrong lobby. It's like, all right, bro, come on. And now you got
the setup. Yes. And that's very interesting too, to think about, like, why are these people asking you what games you play? Is that like are they like, well, this guy is a very interesting character, what is he playing? Or are they getting at, what could this guy possibly know about this game?
That's what they're getting at, is a lot of esports commentators that only focus on one particular game. they're like, I know this better than you. Well, maybe you do. And you probably do. But what do you actually bring to the table as far as keeping people engaged in what you're doing? I mean, I can tell you, BMAC knows exactly what I'm talking about. You got to keep people engaged as an entertainment value. Look, fighting games and League of Legends are two stayed away from because people are so crazy about it. They're like, oh, that was a 0.5 seconds of blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, okay, there's a place for that in every sport, esport, combat sport. There's a place to drop that knowledge. But don't be condescendingly talking over people's heads. Bring them into the storyline. Keep them engaged, because chances are somebody out there is watching because it's his brother's, sister's, uncle's, cousin's, nephew's, daughter's roommate.
Yes.
Itself, but you got to get them involved in it, get them excited about it, and keep them excited about it. So,
well, that's what I think the jiu-jitsu community doesn't understand is exactly what you're talking about right now. Like, because we all nerd out on it so much, we assume we are entertained by it because we nerd out on the thing. It wouldn't even have to be good. We would nerd out on it. And so that's what we've had forever. But if we want to take jiu-jitsu to the next level and actually bring dollars into the sport, we have to be able to put it down. As my daddy would say, you got to put it down where the chickens can get after it. Put it down there on the ground so the chickens can eat it, son. How do we make this palatable to an audience that has never watched jiu-jitsu before? And so my proposition, my potential solution was, well, we need to put it in a format that they already understand, which is sports, league, teams, seasons, easy to understand. And we need to make the scoring easy to understand. No gatekeeping on the scoring.
Yes.
How much is a takedown worth in IBJJF? Either one of you know? Don't even know what IBJJF is. It's the much less what a takedown is worth. Well, how much is that same takedown worth in ADCC? Could be different. Could be different.
I didn't even think about that.
How much is it worth in EBI rules? Could be doesn't matter. Obviously, EBI doesn't have points either. But my point stands.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
right. Well, that's what happened.
It doesn't.
It got too convoluted.
Yes.
Yeah.
How much is a takedown worth? How much is side control worth? What's a guard pass worth? Does that count as points? Was he down long enough? Like, blah, blah, blah. It's too complex for the average person to understand. I want to know. I just need to simplify it to the point where it's like, okay, did he make the other guy quit or not? That's easy to understand. That's why boxing is easy to understand. He punched me in the face. I'm losing. That's all I need to know to watch boxing and understand who's winning. You know what I mean? And jiu-jitsu being so much more complex than others, not all other sports. I'm not saying it's the most complex or whatever, but it is a very complex sport for sure. The nuance is lost on the audience, on the general audience. So how do we amplify the parts that are easy to understand and let the fighters and athletes deal with the nuance? And, you know, you need educated people obviously on the mic,
right,
to explain the context of the nuance, but you don't need a guy on the microphone doing color commentary going, okay, well, here's what I like to do in that situation. And instead of bending the arm this way, I like to turn the wrist slightly to the outside and then roll both my wrists. The moment's already gone. You lost everybody's attention and the moment's totally gone, you know? So anyway, sorry. I just say all that to say, I think you're completely right about what are the general pillars of storytelling that must be what are the check boxes we have to check? Let's get those. And those are the same for everything. Those are the same for everything. So sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
No, not at all. Please, anytime you're going to drop knowledge like that, you interrupt all day long, sir. I think
come on,
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things that we've seen whether it be, it doesn't matter what kind of sport it is. Getting to know the personalities makes you want to care about the fights and the fighters more. We saw it with Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin. 2 million people on Spike TV watched that fight, and most of those people were getting phone calls from their friends going, bro, you got to turn this on. But that was after 2 months of a television show where you got to get to know these fighters inside and out. You got to see their likes, their dislikes, all of that stuff. And they've taken that onto different levels. They're even doing it in the WWE, the behind the scenes, and getting to know people. You know what? I got to say, if we can get, next season, there's going to be 2 fights a week, right?
Yeah, two match days.
2 match days a week, right?
I didn't even know that.
Get some of these fighters living with each other in a penthouse, playing some video games and training and doing all of that.
So that idea you just had, it already exists. Every team had a dedicated media person for the whole season. If you go to the PGF World YouTube channel right now, you can watch, I think there's 5 Colorado Wolverines behind the scenes videos covering what happened behind the scenes week 1, week 2. They all lived in a house together.
Awesome.
That's so
Same
cool.
thing for the Philly Phenoms. Same thing for the Twisters. Same thing for the Kings. There's 5 behind the scenes videos for each team that cover last season. There's 20 different behind the scenes videos of exactly what you're asking for. It's available right now, PGF World YouTube channel. You can go watch it.
So then we got to take a little bit out of the F1 media campaign that they do. F1, so that you get to see the personalities of the 22 drivers that are on the track.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Simple stuff like the Secret Santa that they do every year, right? Where every driver gets somebody else's name and they grab something for them, and then they film it, and you have to guess which driver did it. Just simple stuff like that.
That's funny.
Just so that you can get to know the personalities behind it and get to find who are the villains, who are the heroes, who are the dudes,
who are the heels, and who are the baby faces.
Exactly. That's what I want to see in any sport. That's what I want to see.
So then, from your perspective, then, talking about like not an official show, not like a PGF sanctioned show or whatever, but like if there was a show, there was just say a live stream or just a weekly podcast or whatever, but it's not jiu-jitsu people that do it. It's just people covering the PGF that are outside the world of jiu-jitsu, but they're seeing it from that sports angle. What do you think that show looks like? Who does it? Where does it live? Just like brainstorm with me. Let's just think together.
All right. So one of the components of that show is anybody who has a fight against each other needs to play their favorite video games against each other before they go fight, so that a gaming audience can find this great sport and fall in love with it through the personalities. Have them, you know what? If they both love playing Fortnite, let's let them do battle and talk a little bit of trash. Get involved in something other than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because we're going to get to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's going to happen, baby. They're going to get on the mat. They're going to get down to the nitty grit. Okay. But let's find out some of the things that they can relate to with other regular people, because not everybody. I'm not going to a gym right now and rolling with you, BMAC. That's not going to be a thing, right? But
yes, it is, dude. Yes, it is.
Yeah, dude, I roll with Overt Flow, and it's just he's so patient. He's just waiting for me to take the outside leg so he can come around and take my neck, and I hate it every single time. Anyway,
I didn't. Can I tell you something about PJ? Is that when he says Overt Flow, he's talking about our mutual friend PJ. He knows PJ super well through the gaming and streamer world. I just know him from jiu-jitsu. I didn't know what he did. I met him. He was friends with Zoe because they're training partners. Right. And so at the first PGF that we were in Vegas, he was just one of the dudes that was there. And so I was like, oh, this is one of my training partners. And I was like, oh, what's up, dude? And then I would drop in at the gym, and he's one of the black belts there. We'd get some rounds in. But I didn't know I didn't understand kind of the level that PJ was on as a, you know, like celebrity boxing and, you know, like his world, you know?
It's a
Okay.
different
So,
world he lives in, man. I'm just riding his coattails.
yeah. I saw he was at the MVP presser yesterday,
Yeah.
the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano presser yesterday.
All right, let's
Man,
talk
that's
Did
gonna
about
be a
you
that.
good
know,
one.
Logan, did you know that the coach for the Kings, the coach for the PGF team, the Vegas Kings, is Ronda Rousey's head coach?
You know what? I think you told me that, but that is good knowledge to drop. I can't wait to meet Rhonda. And by the way, I just want to go out here and say, Rhonda, in no world do you lose to Gina. So, you know, I'm in Vegas. I'm a betting man. Look, there's that shouldn't be a thing. So don't make it a thing.
No, Rhonda's gonna handle her business. I think she will.
Rhonda was at the PGF a couple of times this past season. She came
Yeah.
by, and but she trains with the Kings because of that connection. So she's over there in the room training with those guys from time to time during the season, which is pretty
That's
cool,
awesome.
dude. Think about that.
Well, when you look around the room, when you're at a PGF event and you look around the room, you see some familiar faces, Mr. Bravo. I'm talking to you. I'm just saying, you see some people that are legend, and I hope you're not lactose intolerant because this will involve some dairy. You know, and it's you can literally just like walk over and sit down next to them and be like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And have these conversations with some really, really legendary folks in the industry. And the atmosphere makes you feel as though you can walk up and talk to anyone at any
Yes.
time, and you're not going to be shunned or, oh, you can't be here kind of thing. It's a very inclusive community that wants you to feel like, hey, I'm here at this event and this is our event. And that's what I love about it.
Dude,
That's really cool.
I think that you just had a brilliant idea. I think
It
was
sounded like something was cooking right there.
so. You know, one of my big goals for between now and next season is I want to blow this kick channel up. I want to blow it through the roof. But what I don't want it, I want it to be the PGF channel, not the Brandon channel. And so right now, I'm the guy in here working it, learning it, leading the project. I have no problem being on the live stream. I've done it a million times. I'm the right guy to get it off the ground. But what I want is 24/7 programming, live programming on this.
Dude.
Just surrounding the PGF and jiu-jitsu. So that's my ultimate goal. Like, oh, I need an ESPN deal. What if I am ESPN? How about that?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Let me take over. Let me do that for you.
Well,
let's
lay out this conversation, right? So what Logan said stirred this, it was his idea, but it just got my brain going, right? A constant stream and like scheduled time where PGF athletes or personalities or connected friends of the league are playing against one another. And for this 3-hour block, Logan is the host of that. And for this 3-hour block, Cliff is the host. And for this one, it's Jason Anik. And for this one, Brandon's on the stream today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we set up. And what if we, okay, now I'm really, so look.
Now you're cooking.
I just say ridiculous
Somebody
things.
write this down.
I just say ridiculous things and then you got to reel me back into
Somebody
reality.
write this down.
But imagine if each team had their own, like, so the Phenoms, the Kings, the Twisters, all 8 teams. Imagine if all 8 teams had their own streamer team as well, like gaming team as well.
Yeah.
And so now they can produce content on their channels, our channel, their individual athletes' channels year round and start producing. You get what I'm saying?
Dude,
he's smart, by the way. That guy over there, that's a smart guy.
Is that too much? Is that too crazy? That doesn't feel that
crazy at all.
Perfect.
You just predicted the future. I already see it.
Did.
You just painted a picture of something that is not far-fetched at all. It's totally doable.
Yeah, because they're playing video games anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So why aren't they playing video games against each other on Kick? Just saying.
Imagine
and then shit talking.
Imagine this world where just like I don't know how we do it, because for sure, like this is not an idea that I got. This is like an experiment idea, right? Like, oh yes, that will work, but you can't go and drop budget on that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on a second. He has their own eSports team. We could just come in. There are multiple ways to actually monetize this idea rather than quote unquote drop budget. So
Yeah.
I mean, because they're waking up early anyways and probably doing BJJ training as well. I assume the military has incorporated that into their work schedule. And if you haven't, please do. But a good skill to have. But be a bunch of different ways to make this fit and be affordable for all parties involved. And also, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these dudes talk some trash to each other. That's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, I gotta step out for like 60 seconds right here. I'm gonna let y'all cook on this though. This is very interesting. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And I definitely see this being something that could be a great idea. You know, we were just talking about, you know, what kind of behind the scenes action are we getting from these guys? And I think sometimes when it comes, like speaking from like this position of being a live streamer, a content creator, I think that video games kind of like bridge the gap.
They do.
Between myself and my community in terms of like podcasting is one thing. I think podcasting is a little more difficult than being like a gaming live streamer because you have to be engaging and talking the whole time. And obviously part of that with live streaming is a thing, but I think the game is what draws someone in because they're searching on Kick. Okay, who's playing NBA 2K26 right now? Oh, that guy looks cool. Let me jump in his stream. Is it entertaining? Can I get games with him? You know, this, that, and the third. The game is what is bridging the gap.
Well, hold on. We don't just have to play video games. I want to host a Family Feud style game against two different teams every single week. I want to host a trivia show every single week against two different teams. Let them play collectively. There are let's bring some game shows up in this. Yo, hell, if they want to play Monopoly, let them play Monopoly. Like, I'm just saying, you know, it doesn't have to just be video games. There's so many other things that will allow these people to show their personalities off and allow other people to enjoy their personalities and get to know them on a different level, and a level that we can all integrate with and have that synergistic feel to, because not everybody's going to the gym, but everybody's played a video game, everybody's played Trivial Pursuit, everybody's played Monopoly, everybody's watched Family Feud, everybody's done all of these different things. Let's get everybody on to a level that is with everyone else, as opposed to, oh my gosh, these guys are some of the best fighters I've ever seen. Yes, they are, but they're also people. And let's get to know that side of them.
And you know what that does too? Like you said, it creates you start building that relationship, you know, and you start becoming invested is actually the better way to say it. You become invested in these fighters or characters, you know, so to speak, because that's what they are. They're bringing their personality that just adds that extra level of flavor to it. And then boom, here comes PGFX. And now you're like, well, man, this guy might not be the greatest fighter, but I really loved his personality and I loved what I learned about him. So then that helps these guys drive even more donations, so to speak, to increase their salaries. And, you know, I know sometimes we reel it back into money, but just the even if you're not monetizing in that regard, you're still developing, you're building character. And that type of character where people get invested, it makes the storytelling that much.
I know you said I hate to reel it back to money, but that's a massive part of making this a reality for these athletes and for these team owners. It's like, how do we, because the sport is small, and so the viewership is small. I mean, like, we're doing big things in our industry, but our industry is small. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so the athletes need to be paid more. Okay, I hear you. Where does that come from? We've got to get the audience bigger. We've got to get the audience bigger in order to make that a reality, or else it's always just going to be, can we go and find enough one-time sponsors to pull it off again? And there's no sustainable future in that. And so
No.
that was the entire purpose of building the PGF as a league, is like, well, how do I tackle the problem of sustainability and affordability to pursue it as a full-time path?
Right.
And if I can't tackle those two elements, then anything else is just, well, that would be cool to do. But like, in order to leave a mark and leave a lasting change, sustainable. How do we make this sustainable? Well, we have, dude, we're going to have to build an economy. We're going to have to build industry. We're going to have to build networking, connections. We're going to have to build revenue streams. Like, brother, it's a huge task in a sport where none of those things have ever existed. And so that's why the PGF was started, was to try to solve those problems over a long term. And so I think
everybody would do it, dude. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, bro.
Brother, it's anything but easy. It's literally the hardest thing I've ever put my hands on, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Like, getting a black, they're like, yo, it takes 4 years to get a doctorate degree. It takes 10 years to get a black belt. Getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu was child's play compared to this. I feel like I could get a black belt in jiu-jitsu 100 times easier than starting a league, much less taking it to the place that we're trying to take it to. So yeah, these conversations, I say all that to say, you were like, well, I hate to bring it back to money, but that's a reality. And when you're talking about feeding an entire industry of athletes and staff, well, you don't do that with somebody's donation dollars, like, or with one big donor or one big sponsor or whatever. You do it one time like that, but it's not sustainable. How do we get those people and those eyeballs coming back to the table over and over and over again, and setting up real revenue streams? And it won't be just competition pay that gets it done for these guys, especially not in the beginning. eSports, that's not how they make their bread. That's not how Michael Jordan made way more in his other revenue streams than he made as a basketball player. Way more. Jay-Z, he said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Like, that's the game right there. Like, how do I take my opportunity and my platform and turn it into different streams of revenue? So educating the entire athlete, the entire industry, all the teams in this kind of thinking is massive. And so anyway, that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, Logan. Sure. I knew if I could just like sit down and like we could just break bread together, especially with three, like we each have plenty in common, but we each come from different specialties. Like Cliff played college basketball, athlete turned streamer. Logan's been around the broadcast and the eSports world, but not the jiu-jitsu world. I come from the jiu-jitsu world. Like, we all have different perspectives on the same problem. And I think that's super important. And I think from a fan perspective, like, how could we build a show that uses jiu-jitsu athletes, personalities, etc., as the talent, but is unrelated to jiu-jitsu and is interesting to a non-jiu-jitsu population?
Game shows, like I said,
that's the thing that I'm looking to put
do a trivia
on the
show.
streaming part of this channel.
Feud, teams against teams. All while you were gone for 60 seconds, I hit on, dude. We could have the teams playing Monopoly against each other. And you know what? Anything like that brings it all down to the secular level that we can all engage in. Also, I think sponsors. Look, you're never going to pick up not never, but it's easier to pick up a sponsor because your personality shines through on the internet than it is because you just knocked that dude out or just submitted that dude or just brought that dude, into your world and crushed him. it's all about the personalities and how you can push that. The fights are going to be there. The fights are going to happen. What we have to do is give people a reason to want to watch the fights. And then if they don't know the fighters, they're never going to want to watch.
So I hate to cut it short. I got one last question for you guys, and then I got to jet and get some other stuff done. But I think this is a really good closing question for me to ask you guys. And it'll be interesting to hear both perspectives. So it's a very simple, straightforward question. I think it's a good, strong closing question. And it ties into what we were just talking about. What, in your opinion, do you believe is the future of live competition entertainment?
Go first, B-Mac.
So, yeah. So to kind of like delve into it a little bit further, like we're talking about like, how do we flesh out these personalities and create where the fans are becoming more invested, and Logan's talking about the game shows or whatever we're playing, doesn't matter. So if we're talking, and we talked earlier about this too, B-Mac, about like being a little bit more non-traditional, but feels more grassroots. What do you think is the future of live competition entertainment? If you were to say,
I'll tell you a couple of things that I think are going to prove to be true in some form over time. Number one, it won't be a broadcast product. It'll be a streaming product.
the writing's on the wall. You're already seeing it.
It'll be done in a way that acknowledges the chat and the community rather than in a way that just shows it to them.
So instead of prepackaged, it's more interactive.
Yeah, at least on some level. Obviously, like it'll always be about the athletes playing the game, but including the community and the chat as part of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second point, it's actually a sub point of that one. One of the ways that I think that will be done is by being able to tip the athletes live in real time. So the way that we throw money bags to the athletes as the owners that are there at the PGF, how that's us just throwing out a gifted subscription, basically. Right.
Yes.
And right now, if you watch the athletes on PGF, you could do that and you could drop a gifted subscription to the PGF. But having some way to delineate which athlete you wanted that, and I just use the gifted sub as an example, you wanted that gifted sub to go as credit to. So like it's $5. I want this $5 to go to Andy Varela specifically. Having some way to like keep a running ledger of that so that people feel like, oh, this is awesome. And, we're supporting the athletes in real time. I think that is, these are a couple of things that were a big focus of our owners meeting over the past couple of days in Las Vegas. So, but what do I think? I think it won't be the major thing. I think is that live sports is going to happen in a streaming format in a big way in the next couple of years. And that's been my bet from the beginning. Actually, when we started the PGF, it was started as a YouTube product, not to sell to CBS.
Right.
That's my answer, I think.
No, that's a good answer. And I do agree that, I like what JC just said, betting integration. So I can place live bets in the chat, even if without real money, only win tokens for e-com and merch. That's actually a really great idea. And that we already do that slightly with, voting on fight of the night, sub of the night. That also increases engagement. We kind of had, that's kind of some of the ideas I've had with the channel points, and the channel points come from, you get more channel points, the more you subscribe, the more you gift your subs, the longer your subscription lasts, the more messages you send in the chat, you get more points. And then the channel point system, works as redeems, where you could then use that to, I don't know, maybe wager. Like that's a thing. They call it Gamba on Twitch, where you put up a poll and you can choose, okay, do you think this guy wins or this guy wins? If your wager was correct, you get a certain amount of channel points back, and those channel points can be then used to redeem unlockables like, you know, merchandise and things like that. So
T-shirt or whatever.
JC's got the right idea there. And to piggyback off what you're saying about the future of live competition and entertainment, I do agree that live streaming is going to be the key. And I've always said to my community and to my lady and anyone who wants to listen to me talk, that the creative freedom that a platform like this has given me is what excites me the most when I wake up in the morning. You know, sure, it's cool to be your own boss, but I just have so many ideas. And when it comes to live streaming and just wanting to be entertaining overall, the sky is the limit with what you can do. Like, look what we just fleshed out in, you know, 3 hours of talking in terms of what kind of entertainment we could create to then generate revenue. You know, like that. I think you're going down the right path.
People are scared to have conversations like this in public sometimes because they're worried that their great idea is going to get taken or going to get stolen or whatever. But I just don't think that anything works like that. Like, it doesn't matter how many good ideas you have to execute on this with consistency
1000%.
over time. You have to show up with excellence for a long time to execute on any idea. So I think people get scared to like throw conversations out like this out there publicly because they're scared somebody's going to snatch up their brilliance and steal it from them, but you weren't going to do it anyway.
I agree. So let's go ahead, before I get out of here, let's go ahead and flip it over to Logan and see if he has something that he wants to add in terms of what he believes is the future of live competition entertainment. I know we're talking about like esports.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's not going to be AI. I'll tell you that much. Look, CNN, ABC, and I believe CBS are trying to develop AI presenters, as they would say over in the UK.
Yeah.
To try to take jobs away. Or look, they can do the news, but they can't do sports or esports. It's not going to be that simple. That's not going to be a thing. A lot of people in chat discussion are like, "Oh man, AI is going to take over your job." Bring it on, bro.
Yes.
Bring it on.
We want that
I
challenge.
welcome that battle because I will defeat them every single time. But I think one of the things that really the focus is always going to be personality based. And I think they're going to get back to that a little bit more. It kind of ebbs and flows in the sporting world and in the esports world and in the combat sports world because it depends on the personalities. Look, a lot of years ago, USA had one of the first esports TV shows where they put everybody into a house and they played different games. And the concept behind it was really cool. But you know what wasn't cool? The people in the house. They couldn't drive the show. Okay?
Yeah.
They couldn't drive the show. So really what it's going to come down to is a little bit of Vince McMahon thrown in with a little bit of everything else. It doesn't matter what sport we're talking about, whether it's esports or sports or whatever, combat sports, it doesn't matter. A little bit of showmanship is going to go a long way to get to know these performers. Look, man, time and time again, you can tell ticket sales go down when Conor McGregor's not on the card. You know why? Because everybody cares about him. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's insane and throws chairs at buses and does all the crazy stuff, okay? I'm not saying everybody needs to be crazy, but what we do need to find is that common ground between personalities that makes you want to come out time and time again, just like BMAC was saying, and get involved in it. I think integrating betting live, like we said, integrating betting and being able to interact in real time with the actual program will become monumental to sports in any form or fashion. We've already kind of seen it in between rounds in certain leagues where, you know, whether it's threads, which I don't even know why that exists, but that's a different story for a different day. And then Twitter, because no one's calling that stuff X. Elon, settle down. I'm not calling it X, bro. You can buy something and call it whatever you like, but I don't have to jump on board. Okay? But, you know, with the hashtags and all of this, and you'll see it in real time where they're like, yo, BMAC just said blah, blah, blah. You're going to see a lot more of that. And as far as broadcasts, I would not be surprised if we see more integration from the social media platforms, bringing in
Yes.
influencers to actually give their take. I don't know where that fits into the schedule as far as programming is concerned, but that's not my job to figure out. But bringing them in and saying, "Hey, what did you think on that?" and seeing from different influencers in real time how they think. Why? Well, because when 3 million people are watching PewDiePie, it might make sense to bring him in and ask him what he thinks about the thing, because it brings the fight or the sport, whatever it is, because it brings everybody down to a level that they can feel like they can contribute to, and that they're not being condescendingly talked down to because they don't understand the sport. Look, if I brought you to a hockey game 3 days in a row, but never explained the sport to you, right? And gave you tickets for the fourth day and said, "Hey, go by yourself." Are you going to go? No, you're not going to go. So we need
Depends
to
on how good the
ways,
fights were.
Yeah.
we need to find ways to be able to delineate the information on a level that everybody can consume and speak to the masses, as opposed to speaking to just a few individuals
niche.
who find that entertaining. Yeah.
Very good
That's
point.
it.
Very good
I'm
point.
good.
Well, thank you guys very much for having me on. B-Mac, I'm glad to do this with you every week. Logan, it's a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully we get to meet in person. You said you're out in Vegas, right?
I am.
Okay, so I should be out there for PGFX. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully we get more talks with Egghead, and I'm excited for not just the future of this podcast, B-Mac, but I think we've been talking about, you've been cooking here. You've been cooking, and there's so many other ideas that I can just already feel coming down the pipeline. I'm really excited to be a part of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and jet. Much love.
Before you go,
Yeah.
I want you to look dead in this camera right here, dude. Lean in real close. Lean in real close.
I'm here.
I'm gonna solo you
here.
right here.
I'm here. I am here.
All right, lean in real close. I want it real close. Okay, not that close. I need your whole head.
I'm here.
All right. You in a 2K match versus any PGF personality, athlete, owner, commentator, whatever. Throw down the challenge right now.
Oh, that is a great question, because there's so many guys I want to put belt to their asses.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be, because the thing is, Elijah Carlton was my favorite guy. And I really like Jaden Groner, but then you got guys like Jet Thompson and you got Gumby, who will probably be such good trash talkers. I don't know. I think I'd have to go for the champ. Season 9 champ, Kevin Buehring, is probably who I would challenge. Kevin, if you're watching this or listening to this, I'm going to beat you by 50 in NBA 2K26. You pick whatever team you want. You can take the prime Chicago Bulls, and I'll take the current Chicago Bulls. Belt to your butt cheeks. I'm not getting on the mat with you, but it come to my 2K26 video game domain. I want all the smoke, and I'm coming for that belt.
Hey, Kevin's a pretty good basketball player, by the way.
He looks athletic, man. He looks like an athlete.
He's not bad. Travis Haven's another one. He's a good basketball player.
Oh, Travis is tall too and lanky. Those guys are probably really
those guys are real live. Those guys are real live athletes. But you're saying if they come to 2K, it ain't nothing to you.
No, 2K, and now they might actually mess me up in real life basketball. I got a bad back and I'm old now. They might be have more endurance than I am. No, they definitely do. But hey, we could do a little shooting competition now. Some IRL basketball knockout or something like that. I'd be down for that too. That'd be some good content too.
So let me just see,
like riding a bike.
Let me just see if I understand this correctly. Let me just make sure I understand what's going on here. You are challenging Kevin Buehring to a 2K contest live on the PGF World channel. Is that what you're saying to me right now?
The challenge has been thrown down. Don't duck me, Kevin.
All
Mr.
right.
Buehring, to the principal's office.
You heard it here
Immediately.
first. You heard it here first, kids. We'll see if he rises to the challenge. You clip this and tag him. Oh, Logan,
Yes, sir.
Logan moving in the pro setup. Hold on a second.
There
I
you
had to
go.
get my chair.
That's what I
I
like to
didn't
see.
realize we were going to be doing my neck and my back.
Oh, my neck, my back. All right, Chris,
All right, guys.
I'm gonna let you slide, dog. I want
appreciate
to
you.
pick on Logan's brain for about another couple of minutes, but
Be
you're out of
safe,
here.
be smart, behave. I'll catch you on the next one, guys.
See you on the flip.
Pleasure, man.
Peace. Peace.
Nice guy. Good people.
Dude, he's the man. I just met him through Kick. So like when I was like, okay, we're gonna start testing out and playing around with Kick. Well, I need to get over there and like just use it as a consumer for a little bit so I understand it. And so he was one of the guys that I started kind of like interacting with his chat and trying to, because you know how the streaming world's way different than the social media world, which is way
Very
different than the sports world, you know, but the streaming has a kind of its own culture. And so, you know, anytime I'm trying to get into something new, I want to like dive in and like consume it and observe it for a little bit so I can understand it. Anyway, I say all that to say he was a guy that I started watching him and trying to see what he was about and how this thing works. Him, Fighting Sloth. They're not like big time creators, like they got thousands and thousands of people in, but it looks like they're doing a good job of like building community and being consistent. They're in that like hustle mode of trying to do the thing well, you know?
Well,
And
I
so
did it. That's how I started this journey.
that's how
man.
everybody starts, dude. And that's the people I vibe with the most, it seems to me.
Yeah, well, you know, I had people from my radio and TV career that right before COVID, actually, it was right before COVID. They're like, "Hey, man, aren't you upset that you're not being creative on a daily basis? Because, like, you know, our sports show, we changed the way that sports talk was done. We did a produced comedy bit every single day. We talked about the news every single day, not just sports, but the actual news. We had the champ and the chump, the best and worst from the night before. But, you know, before the Jack Show was in existence, it was just some dude who used to play tight end for, you know, the Chiefs, and he's just asking a question and taking phone calls the entire time. We kind of flipped that script. Yes, we took phone calls. Yes, we engaged with the audience on that level, but we did it in a different way. We also were one of the first shows.
Oh, I think I lost him. Oh, what a huge bummer, dude. What a huge bummer. All right. Hopefully we'll pop him back in a little bit. But I mean, you guys can see why I wanted to bring Logan in and talk to him. That's all right. We'll get him back. Don't stress about it. We'll get him back. And thanks for the host with your CFAM. Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys all popping over. Carl, Big Shady, Shy Burner. That's all right. We'll get him back in a second. Don't stress about it, guys. He'll be back in a little bit. I think he might already be there, actually. He probably, you know what? When you join in from your phone and you get a phone call, sometimes it like
know what
kicks you
happened.
off. Is that what
I
happened?
can't hear you anymore.
Oh, you
Technical
can't-
difficulties.
Can you
All
hear
right,
me
I'm gonna
now?
have to
though?
call because I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
that's
buddy.
a bummer. That's a bummer.
I've been
All
on
right.
for too long, apparently. Yo, BMAC, before I go, I appreciate you. I appreciate the Professional Grappling Federation as well, everybody involved, and everybody that welcomes me when I go to these matches. Great times, and I can't wait for the future. You and I will get on a call, and we're going to figure this out, man. Above and beyond, let's go take over the world, my friend. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Be well, my friend.
Man.
Bye.
All right, y'all take it easy. Take it easy. So shout out to Logan. What a cool dude, man. I knew if I could just get him on here and just, you know, I've only known him for a little while, but we've gotten to interact a little bit. We went and had dinner together, working on something for the PGF. We went and had dinner together, and just a smart guy, been around the game for a long time. And to me, most importantly, well, maybe not most importantly, but an important part of it is that he sees things from an outside perspective. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's got big energy, right? Big energy. I mean, you can tell he's been a host on broadcasts and stuff. He knows how to treat this game. But yeah, I really like that dude a lot. I think he's a super nice guy, man. So super, super happy that we were able to get him on for a second. Let me see. Let me kill this. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're still good. So yeah, but appreciate the follows. Appreciate all you guys jumping in and hanging out. Yeah. What do you think, man? 24/7 PGF channel. How do we do that? How do we actually run that? And how do I get the gaming thing? Does it need to be like impromptu, or should I do like a set time? I guess in order to go 24/7, you're gonna have to like actually build a schedule and have shows. So you couldn't, well, right now at least you couldn't go like true 24/7, but you could go for a big chunk of each day, you know, PGF versus MRxChiCity and 2K. And then like Logan was saying, you could do like they're going to play World of Warcraft, or then they're going to play Monopoly. And then this is just them rolling. And then this is the IRL content. And then here's Brandon popping on with his little version of the podcast. And then here's the PGF Insider. I think there's so much content. This is a replay of an old match. Here's the live PGF qualify. I feel like there's so much content with a league, dude. So much content. No, see, look, dude. You got to start as big as possible and then scale it back to what is possible. That's one of the big lessons that working with Zoltan has taught me. Is you go as far and as totally insane as possible with the idea, and then dial it back to what can we actually pull off now? But if there were no limit to our imagination and resources, what would we do? Start there and then dial it backwards. Begin with the end in mind. Yes. Yes. Dude, otherwise, if you start from the other direction, you go, okay, what can we do right now? And you start there, you've automatically limited where it could potentially go right away. Right away. You've already started with a ceiling on it, you know? Dude, so you say this is funny. He said jiu-jitsu matches on Mars. You say that? Yeah, let's do it. How do we figure that out? All right, maybe we can't do it on Mars. What could we do? Oh, well, we could do, I mean, obviously we got to do it on Earth. Well, what's the most baller crazy place? Could we do it at NASA headquarters? Okay, probably not. Could we do it in a castle? Ooh, maybe we could do it in a castle. I bet there's some place where we could rent a castle that hasn't been occupied. And yeah, could we do it on an airplane? Could we do it on the dark side of the moon? Like, just what is it that you really want? If nothing was impossible and you had every resource available to you, how would you do it? What would it look like? All right, let's dial it back to the essence of that idea and see what we can actually do. A zero gravity airplane. Yeah, exactly. There's some amazing locations, right? And so we'll dreamscape and talk as big as possible. Talk as big as possible. It doesn't hurt anything. It's definitely not going to come true if you don't start by imagining it. Whatever has ever happened started by somebody dreamed it up. So let's go, dude. Dream as big as possible. And then, have the big idea. Have the craziest idea you can have. And then we'll see what you're made of after that. Are you going to do the work? Maybe. Probably not. That's why most of these crazy ideas don't play out. It's not because the idea was too crazy. It's because there's no conqueror behind that idea. You know what I'm saying? So, Anyway, I get excited. Yeah, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Madison Square Garden for the playoffs. Yeah. Yeah. Big dreams, big manifestations. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. We do not serve the world by thinking small. That's not me, dude. That's not how I run the show. We're going to think as big as we can. And then, hey, you know what? At least we'll be able to say we tried, even if it doesn't play out. And hey, most ideas don't play out. But who are you to have an idea and not go after it? Dude, I couldn't live like that. Let's make this thing as big as possible and then give it everything we got. And I think that's the part that everybody's really missing. But those two things, it's hard to find a true grinder who's also a true creative. And so people who really would grind out and give everything, they often don't dream big enough. And then people who do dream big enough, they often don't know how to grind it out. So you got to have this mix of head in the clouds, hands in the dirt. You got to have both. I read this book called Rocket Fuel one time, and that was sort of the analogy that the whole book is based on. So, like, you need two great founders, not one. Sometimes you can find it in one, but it's pretty rare. But somebody's got to have their head in the clouds, and somebody's got to have their hands in the dirt. And there has to be respect and balance and weight given to both of those things. Got to have both. Most people are not both. Oh, shoot. Gifted subs all over the place, dude. My boy throwing down. Appreciate that. Big Tay, Ace, Shy Burner, Big Shady, the whole squad laid in. We're locked in, dude. We were locked in right there. So yeah, dude, what does a PGF video game match look like? What does that look like? Yeah, you're right, JC. Visionary and architect in one person is super, super rare. That's an actual unicorn. Yeah. Big Tay said, no. I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you make that noise. I apologize. I made his fingers. But what does if we were looking for gaming content between the teams, what does that look like? Does it look like a show on a weekly set schedule, or does it in the beginning? No, probably not. Just kind of ease into it. Oh man. Oh, sorry, Big Day. I just did that right there, man. We were grinding out with that pen and paper over the last couple of days. No, I'll be in Costa Rica at that time. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I'll be in Costa Rica. Every summer I go down and I work with this 501c3 charity called Hero Academy. And so they provide free training to any kids in that city or in the surrounding area. They pay to run the buses out to them. They pick them up. They give them free uniforms. They give them free training. They maintain a facility. They pay their instructors. And so, I love the work that they're doing, and I love going to Costa Rica. So I go to Costa Rica and do jiu-jitsu for a week or two and then come home. So yeah, pretty amazing. If you guys are interested in just supporting, that's a great organization that I can personally vouch for. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's super bomb, dude. You guys would love it. You guys would love it. Even if you don't know jiu-jitsu, you would love it, dude. It's crazy. Costa Rica is one of the only places in the world, and maybe the only place in the world, where it's the beach and the jungle and the mountains. Like, it's all of those things right there at the same time. It's crazy. I think a mix of casual and competitive is important. Like, one show you get 30 minutes to do the tutorial and gather your bearings. Then you play each other. Oh, talking about the video games. And another block could be two guys who are already good at a game, rotate the game based on popularity, and they play. The best gaming streamers I know play multiple games. They have their staples, but they also play new games when they release. Okay, word. Yeah, there's definitely a way to pull this idea off. Yeah, that unlocked like a whole like ecosystem to me. You know what I mean? The problem is I can't be the host all the time. I can barely be the host for my own stuff, like, time-wise. And so I'd have to set up people who had access and that I could trust to do the thing properly and well. What does that mean, JC? I don't know what that means. Yeah, I feel you. New games brings in new eyeballs. Yeah, we see, like, could be our streamer community versus the PGF. You know, that would be fun. And PGF athletes versus each other. Oh, I get what you're saying, JC. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Anybody that wants to do it, that would be cool. I'm into that. Man, I got to get back on the mat tonight, JC. I got to get back on the mat tonight. I didn't train Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday because we were locked down working in Vegas. We got a lot done though, man. A lot of big decisions got finalized and made, and I'm excited, dude. The direction this thing is going is crazy. It's crazy. So, all right, fellas, I think that I got to call it. I got actual work to get done. So, all right. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you, man. Thanks for jumping in and sharing your time with me. Hopefully you got a little something out of it, even if it was just something to play as background noise. But hopefully, like, some of the things that we talked about are actually like motivating to you and helpful. And as always, anything that I can do to help you with your jiu-jitsu or with anything else, man, I'm going to be as available as possible to be a benefit to your life. So thanks for joining me, and I love you guys. I'll see you soon.